that you wanna stay. Baby, just don't walk away. I need you now. Fade it out. All the time we spent alone, fighting through the firestorm. Don't let me down. I need you now, 'cause I'm feeling worn out. It's getting to me. Lost some heart trying to get on my feet. Caught in the madness, I feel you somehow. Don't let me go, I need you right now. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you. You wanna stay, baby, just don't walk away. I need you now. Fade it out. All the time we spent alone, fighting through the firestorm. Don't let me down. I need you now, 'cause I'm feeling worn out. It's getting to me. Lost some heart trying to get on my feet. Caught in the madness, I feel you somehow. Don't let me go, I need you right now. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you.
아프리카 TV 프레이업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What's up, everyone? It's time for the round of 8 in the GSL Code S. This is where things really begin to heat up. Every matchup we've got in the round of 8 is an interesting one. It's hard to say which direction this tournament's going to go. We had some concerns early on that we might have a pretty lopsided bracket going into the round of 8 before we had figured out who was actually going to make it into the round of 8. It looks like instead we've pretty much got as balanced as you could get.
It's a golden ratio.
Yes.
David Kim wins again.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything's good, I guess.
Everything's okay.
And yeah, the matches for this round are unbelievable. I can't wait for this first one. This
I'm
is
so
for
excited.
me the match of the tournament.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting. DRG versus Innovation, Pure Power Zerg against Pure Power Terran. Like, think about, I mean, this is going to sound kind of stupid and obvious, but like either one of them is noticeably more powerful than the other, or they're very close.
This is like one of these.
Either way, it's like really exciting.
This is one of these Dragon Ball Z moments where the beams are both
Yes.
crashing into each other, and it's just, you know, a bit of a back and forth. Who's actually going to be more powerful? Also exciting, of course, because we have players who have been dominant in the past, have served their military service, and are back here in the GSL, and are looking as strong as they were in the early days.
Yeah, no, DRG is looking better than he's looked in like 8 years.
It's crazy. Here's the entire round of 8. We already mentioned DRG versus Innovation. We also have Dream versus Rogue. That's a really tough one to call. Dream is kind of the wild card of this tournament.
He is.
And then, of course, on Saturday, 1 p.m., we will have TY versus Parting and Trap versus Stats. And I don't know what to expect with the TY Parting games. Parting always makes for some very fascinating, fun games to cast. TY, of course, our caster and GSL champion.
Yeah.
Always curious to see if he can keep doing this and basically outdo everybody in all esports for all time.
Yeah.
And then the PvP is just going to be a treat. Two very different players. Let's see how PvP looks at the highest level.
Indeed. These are our matches for today. Of course, we have that just superpower macro match between DRG and Innovation. Again, I think that's as exciting as you can literally possibly get. Innovation's in peak form, and DRG is too, which is insane to say because of how good he was back in the day, but he looks like even better.
And we kick off today with a long-awaited revenge match between DRG and Innovation. And DRG, the first player to have finished the military service and have joined GSL round of 8 after Legacy of the Void and Innovation. And DRG, the light of hope for the players who have finished the military service. It's a round of 8 in such a long time. How have you prepared? Well, before I didn't really have the pressure, but you know, preparing for the best of matches, I have so many variables to think about, so I think I gained a lot of stress in the procedure. And Innovation is giving you more stress because you lost to him 6 years ago in the round of 8. So I'm sure you're very confident today. But back then, you know, at the time I thought I would win with my skills, but now I think I can really take it down. And Innovation, who has made it to a second consecutive round of 8. And have you prepared well? Innovation. I actually had the confidence, but you know, while practicing, I felt like my confidence level dropped. So I think it's going to be a hard win today. Why is that? Well, I didn't have, I had insufficient scrim partners to begin with. And then I have a lot of variables to consider as well. So I'm slightly worried. In the round of 8, DRG beat TY and Innovation beat Dark to make it here to the round of 8. So it's really hard to tell which one is more favored in this matchup. So before you get into the match, do you want to say anything to each other strongly?
3대 0으로 이긴다고 했는데
Well, I
3대
did
0은 좀 힘들 것
mention that I'm gonna beat him 3-0.
이기도록 하겠습니다.
아 그래도 이기긴 이긴다는
I'll try to beat him 3-2.
말씀이시거든요.
뭐 신영이가 이기든 지든 상관없는데
Well, whether Innovation wins or loses, that
경기 중에
doesn't matter.
이렇게 살짝 쳐다보면서 웃지만 말아줬어요.
I just hope he stop staring at
아
me.
너는 그냥
mid-game
웃지만 마라 이렇게
and make a
이야기를
smirk.
해주셨는데요. 자 무려 8년 만에 4강 진출을 노리는 박수호 선수, 2시즌
And
연속
the
4강
much
진출을
anticipated
노리는
battle
이신영
between
선수.
DRG and
두
Innovation.
선수의 결과는 어떻게 될까요?
How will the
8강 첫
result
번째
turn out
경기
to be?
시작하겠습니다.
We'll kick it off now.
Interesting to see Innovation's attitude going into this match. I felt like, I guess if I had to predict, what his mindset would be, I would imagine he'd be really confident. He usually is.
Yeah.
But this is what's kind of crazy about this match here. DRG really is a player from a completely different era.
Yeah.
RTS especially, when you go back and look at what people did, back 5 years ago or 6 years ago, it's so obsolete compared to what players are doing now.
Yes.
That, for all the respect and reverence we have for older players, we kind of expect them to be outperformed if they haven't been in tournaments the entire time. And DRG, it's totally the opposite. He doesn't look obsolete at all. He actually looks to be cutting edge.
Yeah.
He looks basically as strong as he looked when he was his strongest, when he was winning GSLs. And so now it's like, can DRG coming back here is going against one of the most robust players of all time. Innovation has had many eras where he's pretty much the best player, or at least top 3.
And we're entering another one even.
Yeah, and so I'm really curious because I feel like if DRG can beat Innovation, I don't know who can stop him.
Yes.
TVZ is a very mechanical matchup on both sides.
Yeah,
You have to have a lot of stamina. There's a lot of very complex decisions that have to be made, especially when you get into the later part of the game. As you're both trying to push out and crush bases while expanding, oftentimes in opposite directions. Innovation, again, he represents probably the most mechanical aspects of StarCraft 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is going to be fun. But if DRG can do it here, this is a reckoning.
Yeah, this is why it's really so exciting. And like you said, he's from such a different era. And I mean, they did have a little bit of overlap. They have played before. About 6 years ago, it was the last time that they met in GSL. But dude, this is amazing. I know this is going to cut me off if I start to say something epic about how cool this is. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to wait.
I got a lot to say about this when we hop into our game. Map 1 will be on Everdream. Again, this is a best of 5. The winner moves on to the round of 4. The loser is out of the GSL.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 아프리카 프렉스 DRG 박수호. 카이지 게이밍 이노베이션 이신영.
So, I almost feel like DRG is, like if we were able to Jurassic Park back one of the great gladiators from the Roman eras, and one of these guys that had killed, countless amounts of people in combat there. And then we have him fight a modern UFC fighter, and we find out the gladiator's actually able to beat UFC fighters. You know what I'm saying? Where I look at it and go,
totally.
I kind of thought DRG was going to be like, I was mostly excited when I saw him qualify about the novelty of like, look at that, man. He can still qualify. And let's see how he does. And instead it's like, oh, God, he might actually win this tournament. He might actually be the best player right now.
Yeah. And the different era thing is so important to point out. I think that your metaphor was pretty strong because, like, you see people on fan sites and they have arguments about, like, oh, well, who was better? Was it like the guys that played at the beginning or the guys now? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ruin this for you
Gonna
guys.
hurt
It's
some
the guys
feelings?
that play now.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
much better than
Yes.
the older generations. And the thing is, yeah, they're standing on their shoulders. Those older generations did figure out a lot of things strategically and mechanically and help to build it. Every generation builds upon the previous ones. But the newer players are better. They're just much strong. It's not even close. It's crazy how much stronger they are. It's so hard for someone to come back. And to come out of that different era that DRG was in, like, the players are mechanically so much better now. They're quicker in every way. The strategy has changed as well. So it's incredibly impressive. And the further you go back for someone to come back and play at the top level, it's amazing. Like, we see it happening in StarCraft 1 as well, right? Where it's like some of these older players, when they qualify, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like when Busan made it into ASL one time, it was like, oh my God, this guy is literally from 2001. You know, and it's like, that doesn't even, how does that even happen in this day? So something like this, DRG's story of coming back right now and being as good as he is, just adds so much to how impressive it is. So much.
Now, I want to actually expand on this idea that you were talking about here, because there was this weird period. Even people who write blogs or articles were talking about how the games aren't as good as they used to be at the start of the game, which I was just kind of shocked about, because that really, if you're writing stuff like that, it means you really don't even understand what's going on with the game at all. Like, people have improved so much, it's insane. This game was, like all RTS games, really RTS is, it's a genre that ages like a fine wine. You know, it can be super trendy when it comes out, but these games are basically the most complicated games that are out there. So it takes a while for even the smartest people in the world to really figure out how to play it correctly, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the StarCraft that we have now is by far better than, any of the other iterations. We've had a lot of great iterations of StarCraft, but I feel like this one here now, you're really getting to see a game that's developed. It has the bones of the meta are there, and we're seeing new techniques and different tech switches and really some of the most beautiful end games ever.
Absolutely the case.
And again, it's so cool to see a player like DRG come back. He was completely absent for most of Legacy of the Void. He's been gone for a while now, and now he's back here. And he might be the guy that's actually on the cutting edge of Zerg. We've got some other great players, of course, but I mean, man, if he wins here, it's crazy. And 5 games is enough to really figure out if he can mechanically beat this player.
It's not like Innovation is off at all.
No.
Innovation should have beaten Cure in the round of 4 last season. Cure ended up winning, and good on Cure. He played a great series and everything. But there's variation in StarCraft, and I think anyone who watched that can look at that and say, okay, yeah, Innovation probably should have won that. So he should have been in the finals, and I think him versus TY is a much closer match than Cure versus TY. So like, this guy is championship caliber again for like the 8th time. It's crazy. He's looking for another championship. So if DRG wins here, it's not against the Innovation of 2 years ago, right, where he was kind of like a middling player that was around a 16, round of 8 only player. This is a real Innovation. So all of that we've talked about is very exciting, but the matchup of styles as well is what just makes me so excited, because DRG is playing a very macro-oriented army movement, just a fundamental Zerg in a lot of ways. He's not fancy. He's playing right. He's making smart, good moves, and it's hard to play against.
He's a strong man.
Yeah, and that's
what it is.
That's what Innovation does too. So the matchup between them is like, I mean, when you just have two people with the same power going against each other, it's fascinating to see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, it can be really epic. We have a Baneling drop that's about to come in here. That should be targeted toward the natural.
Yeah, he did get that Overlord speed early on. This is a 3 command center build. Very safe one with a Banshee, as well as 4 Hellions or 6 Hellions from Innovation. So just very standard openers while we were kind of building this up. And we see this is Innovation's patented push on the 4th base. This is such an important moment. He has that siege tank really well placed.
Oh, now DRG was actually not watching, so these are all going to be dudding. But the Lings are coming in over here and hitting these SCVs. Now, How is the balancing act back at home? Can the Zerg actually keep the fourth alive while keeping pressure on the Terran? Looks like these Lings are going to maybe try to come around and hit the tank. No. DRG will lose the fourth hatchery in what in the early game of TVZ is really the most impactful moment that we want to look for is did the fourth get pushed and crushed or not?
Yeah, it's a big moment. He is doing a little bit of counterattack. He's gotten 4 SCVs so far. He's picked off a siege tank there. That's a pretty good pick. He does have his 1-1 upgrades. Looks like innovations are done as well. Unfortunately for DRG, he did not start +2 carapace yet, but Baneling's speed just finished up. His Spire finished up. We'll see if he can recover from this, but this is a great start for innovation.
Now, this is, there's another fourth base being made down here. Innovation is pushing down there, but it seems like DRG is going to rely more on counterattacking than having adequate defense. Now, the Banes do not connect with any of their targets. Just the depot wall there is enough that the Banes are never going to catch up to the SCVs. But DRG, again, with really crazy counterattacking. I'm actually missing these on the minimap. We keep just catching them on the screen here.
Yeah, he's slipping Lings in just absolutely everywhere. I mean, this is a good amount of SCVs that he's picking off. He's kind of delaying innovation in the moves that he wants to make. But this hasn't truly dented the economy of innovation. 66 workers is basically full saturation on 3 bases, and you don't even need all the gases. So, look, he's on 66 workers even after those 10 dying. Innovation's economy is still at full blast.
But DRG has teched into Mutalisks, and this was a style that really he managed to dominate with more than anybody else. It was delayed hive, just staying on layer for a long time and just battering the opponent's army over and over and over again. You have counterattacks, and then when the moment's right, you just come in there and hit, and that... Oh my god, these Banes.
Yeah, his Muta's having a little bit of a hard time during this, but his Ling Bane catching a few of these units here and there. I don't know about this one, though.
This is a serious commitment to have here. These Banes are going to go right towards those SCVs. DRG, just with an insane number of Lings and Banelings there, was able to push all the way to the mining line there at the third base. Now, Queens were pulled for a little bit, but they've turned back around. So it seems like there was almost an attempt to have a timing attack, or that was a mistake. I don't know why you'd bring Queens with Ling and Bane and Muta, really. That's not a thing.
You wouldn't. I think it was probably a misclick of some sort.
It must be, yeah. I was thinking of Roach Ravager, and then I'm like, no, that's not a thing. Transfuse the Lings and the Banes? I don't think so.
No, not too likely. I do need to point out again that he doesn't have +2 carapace. He did get +2 melee. That's not a thing, really. Like, +2 melee is really good for Banelings, but the carapace is such an important upgrade. So kind of surprising to see that occur. Now, Innovation doing some counter pushing here. DRG, he's taking additional bases. So that's his 4th right there, but he has a 5th and a 6th. One of them's morphing right now still, but the 5th base is up.
Okay, it's crucial that Zerg does not lose this base, but of course you don't want to overextend here either. I think now DRG should have enough. He can try to drive this away. Remember though, there's tanks and a lot of Marines over here in the back to really try to give out a lot of damage.
You know, this is one of the things that he did really well with those Ling Bane attacks, is he's picked off 3 to 4 tanks already this game.
Right.
So these attacks that are coming, he's able to close with his Banes a little bit better than we see a lot of people do against Innovation.
Keeping the tank count down is key, because if they have enough tanks, the splash damage is going to be so much. The Marines will be able to kite backwards and they won't suffer enough damage. By the way, this hatchery does go down as well. Things seeming to lean in favor of Innovation here. Now, that being said, he does not have a 4th up here, and DRG is growing faster than Innovation's attempts to make him shrink.
That is true, yeah. He took 2 more bases during that. So while, sure, he loses that base, he saves the drones. He's still got a very healthy drone count. Look at this. I mean, he's trading reasonably well. And if he can pick off medevacs, it's amazing. Doesn't look like he'll get any this time, though. And another siege tank goes down. So that anti-Baneling unit, that's so important in this type of situation. He's only got 1 right now.
So there's a 4th command center being made, and this may allow us to have a little bit more attention over here on the Terran side of the map. We're going to see if DRG could possibly force a deny on that 4th base that could be taken there. Now, as we're looking at this again, I mean, Artosis has said it many times already, but it's so important to point out there's just 1 tank here. There's just not the splash damage to where if you get an overwhelming amount of banelings, that you can stop this. The banelings will eventually catch up to their desired target, the Marines.
Absolutely. That's what he's looking for, right? Like, he just needs to stay alive, and the tanks are kind of what allows for your cost efficiency to go through the roof. Like, you can micro Marines really, really well against this stuff. But if you have enough, you will push it back. Whereas if there's a bunch of siege tanks, that's not necessarily the case.
I actually think DRG might be able to take this. Again, another catch here on this tank.
Yeah, he gets another one.
Here we go.
And look at that, only a single siege tank, so he's not able to get as good a volley. Still gets some reasonable ones. Look how many medevacs he has.
Yeah, a lot of them are actually pretty low on energy, I believe. But you can see now with the mutas coming here. Oh my God, great surround. And now the mutas can actually target down the medevacs that have been picked up.
And he actually targets the medevacs that have Marines in them first. Very sharp eyes there from DRG. And look at this, backing up right now. He's got 85 workers. He's got a ton of bases. Look at how powerful he is. He lost his 4th base, Tasteless. He lost it before it was mining this game. Not an issue for DRG, apparently.
This is crazy. He's making Innovation look almost a little bit foolish for pushing out over and over again. He's just taking fight after fight. Now, here's where the focal point of the game might become. Because Zerg has basically brushed off all the attacks, is getting into very high tech. All these important upgrades are about to finish here. And with a far superior supply overall, I think we're going to see a gas dump into mass banelings. And then I think just a big attack in here. I know we have some gas for Ultras too, but I think you might even want to just pull the trigger now and try to take this base out while Terran's still struggling to grow and catch up.
I agree with you on that. I think that that would be a really powerful, really smart move right now. If he can just deny that base. Look at how much of the map he has. Dude, it's funny. Like, we've seen Terrans really doing well against Zergs lately on the patch. I mean, Zergs have caught up a little bit as people are figuring out how everything's working. But watching DRG in this matchup, it's just like, he looks so good at it. And Innovation's at 80% in this matchup right now. He's having a great year.
That's actually something we need to be echoing a lot out here, is that he is at 80% in TVZ.
And win
right
percentages don't stay that high. They can't.
No, that's absurdly high.
The best players in the world maybe can keep 70% in a matchup generally.
Oh my God, DRG's everywhere.
Yeah, it really is. Some great play here. Catches another medevac. Eliminates that. A lot of Ling Bane rolling around right now.
I think we're going to have another gas dump into mass Banes, and I think DRG attacks in. I thought he was going to attack in sooner. I mean, he knows better than me, of course, but I mean, right now he's going to have the strongest army he's ever had this game. And Terran, again, still playing catch-up here.
Yeah. Look at that. He does have a few siege tanks here. Maybe he can get some good volleys off. Muta's coming in and hitting on top of the tanks.
So many Banes coming through here. And there's just not that many places to split. But the Muta count has been completely diminished.
Yeah, like, he killed off every Muta.
It was kind of a weird moment because we saw these Banes crashing in there, and suddenly Shine clicks on the Mutas. They're all in the red, and they all end up getting killed off.
Yeah, I think he got hit maybe by a couple mines there that we didn't see.
I think so, yeah.
When he was going on the tanks. But look, that was, I mean, well, you can look at the supply, and that tells the story, but that was pretty good for Innovation that moment, at least.
Interesting to see an attack in at the strongest defended location there. It seems almost like it was another attempt to just eliminate more tanks. And let's see how the next setup is.
Well, now that we have Ultras out, tanks are not even really going to be that much of an issue anymore, you know?
Also, due to the failure in the pushes early on, Zerg just has a better army, so Terran needs to hang on as best he can, because these waves of armies are just going to be so strong. I have to imagine that some of these command centers are just going to be lost in the process. GG. DRG wins game 1 against Innovation, a player with an 80% win rate in TVZ.
Not anymore.
DRG is back.
Dude,
it's like he never left.
Here's what I love about what we just watched, and DRG is quickly becoming my favorite player right now. What did he do that was flashy there? Absolutely nothing.
It was just
nothing flashy.
Clean mechanical play. He basically innovation to innovation.
Dude, he got his Evos right on time. His Baneling speed wasn't ready, so he gave up his 4th while doing a little bit of counter harassment. And then he moved his army around well. And he macroed well. And he tried to take good engagements, and he did little counterattacks. There was nothing super fancy. There was nothing super teched out here. This wasn't some new build order. He just is playing a fundamentally strong Zerg versus Terran
Yeah,
game.
it looks like he gets Zerg better than anybody else here. You never see Innovation go down like that.
He's a badass, man. Look at him.
Crazy.
Killer!
Game 2's ready. Game 2's ready. Let's go.
한번 시작해볼까?
It is so weird to see Innovation lose like that. That is just
He
crazy.
killed the fourth, and he wasn't able to do anything.
아프리카 프렉스 DRG 박수호.
Usually when you look at Innovation's games, it's kind of like you're watching a guy win an arm wrestling match, just slowly, and then eventually, you know, it's over.
Taps him down.
Yeah, not a back and forth, just, you know,
카이지 게이밍 이노베이션 이신영.
a slow progression of your ahead, and you cannot stop this force that is
normally
Innovation, and it's over.
he nails that fourth base, and he leans on you for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And just over time, he's getting more and more cost efficient, but it did seem like one of the big things that DRG was doing was eliminating siege tanks. His first counterattack that happened while the fourth was dying got one siege tank. Let's not forget, there was a big amount of Ling Bane he attacked with that got 2 siege tanks. He used a ton of Banes to get them, but he got them. And when you think about it, it's like the amount of Banes and Lings he used there, those 2 siege tanks would have gotten that anyways in an attack. So maybe it's proper to trade Banelings if you can. Like, trade anything you can to, on the offense, take down these siege tanks.
He did seem to exploit the ambitions of Innovation and just continuously winning with pushes. You know, tanks in siege mode, they're the units that don't get away in the fights.
Oh, yes.
They will get surrounded by Lings. Sometimes Banes will be thrown into them. Marines and Medivacs, you know, they have an easier escape route. They don't have to plant themselves into the ground in order to do the damage they need to do. But yeah, it seems like over time, there just wasn't enough splash damage to ever really address the issue of mass Baneling.
Well, siege tanks have come back into style against Zerg. And it's funny, because for a long time they were out of style, because Ling Bane Muta was like all the rage. Like, remember Heart of the Swarm? It was all Ling Bane Muta against Marine, Mine, Medivac, and some Marauders. 4M, as I like to call it. But, yeah, I wonder, like, has DRG maybe remembered or kind of made something a little bit new about how to deal with this? I'm very excited to see this game in particular, because I don't think we're going to see Ling Bane Hydra. We were talking about this some, I think, on the last episode of GSL, where it seems like Ling Bane Hydra may have had its day in this matchup and is not what it once was.
It might be obsolete by today's standards.
It feels like it's time for the strat to be put on the back burner, not really used anymore. We see a lot of Zerg still attempting it, but it's not doing it anymore.
Yeah, it seems like it's a strategy that maybe some of the pros should be retiring, unless they have some way to really step it up using that kind of play.
Yeah.
There are always play styles that come out and seem pretty strong, and because they're new and people just don't really have the answers.
Yeah. When that first came out, it looked broken. It was like, damn, that's strong.
Yeah, a lot of we talk about StarCraft being all about mechanics and micro and all this, but sometimes it's actually just about knowing the answer. Like, oh, if they make this, what you got to do is do this. And once you know that, you'll be able to handle it.
Well, taking a look at this game, comparing it to the last game, Innovation's doing the exact same thing, except it's a fusion core instead of the Banshee.
So in this case, we're going to have a battlecruiser, maybe a few of them, coming across the map. And I'm curious, man. Like, I want to know how exactly this is going to go here for DRG, because this is also a style that, in the past we never got to see DRG try to deal with, right? Like, this is basically the last 2 years of StarCraft 2.
Yeah, we'll see how he does with it. I think it might actually end up being mech as well.
Oh, okay, so maybe
he's
into
going
mech.
pretty heavily into the gas right now, so I think he's going to go mech, but we'll see about that in a moment. Of course, we just saw DRG sack an Overlord through the main base to check what was going on. He knows that it is a BC opener. So that can help him prepare a bit. He's getting his Roach Horn. He's building additional queens. Basically what you want to do here.
So that BC is coming here. Where do you think he wants to try to move there with the BC? Does he want to go into the main first?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, there's got to be an exact order for each map on where you want to try to hit them so you can optimize the damage.
Well, he's still making a lot of Hellions, and he's getting Yamato. So the Yamato tells us that this isn't going to be only one BC. And a lot of Hellions, you can either pair it, or you can try to draw the queens away with the battlecruiser and then hit elsewhere with the Hellions. So I'm not sure which way he's going to go with this, to be honest.
We're going to find out soon enough here. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to set this up. It's one of the things that's hard for the Zerg is you don't know exactly what style it's going to be. You're getting little hints of what's coming here, but it's hard to really confirm exactly what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, and it is going to be mech. We see a couple factories being thrown down from Innovation. We'll see how DRG can play against this. What is his style going to bring us? All right, his layer finishes up. Let's see if he throws down a Spire.
There it is.
There it is.
There's a Spire.
So this is something we talked about before, where you can go for high econ Roach Ravager Corruptor against BC mech. It hasn't worked every time, but we'll see. The Hellions try to run in.
This is not doing the kind of damage it needs to. But hold on, there might still be hope here for Terran.
4 kills, 5.
Okay, this is actually a failure. This is not enough damage.
Yeah.
Basically lost money with the Hellions. And beyond just not losing drones, you always got to remember, you know, those are factory units that were made that were not even killing other attacking units, that did not kill enough workers, and are no longer in the game. So this should punt Zerg up a pretty high amount here. So you can one-shot the queens here with this. Oh my god.
Yeah, he'll get that out of there, just barely. Okay. Do you think he's gonna pull the trigger and go like mass Roach Ravager Corruptor here?
Maybe. I mean, you know, it's one of these things where you already had to get the Roaches to defend. You're trying to figure out, okay, how can I use what I've already got to try to go to the next step here? I don't know, actually. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I do feel like there should be some kind of an opening here. Yeah, there's Corruptors. It does look like it's going to be exactly what you said. Good call, Artosis.
Oh, we'll see if he does like a giant plume of Roaches here, because he's making quite a few Ravagers. But I don't know if he's going to like fully commit into it, because we don't see the strategy used a super lot of the time. And yeah, I think he's actually going a little bit more defensive with it. Yeah, he adds 8 more drones on, so it doesn't look like he's going to just try to run Innovation over right now.
It does.
And you can see Innovation is actually prepping for it with the turrets. He's like, oh, I don't want to run into that, right? Because the Corruptors will force the BCs away and everything else will just kill you.
It's interesting to see that DRG has such a good like barometer on where he, or, you know, when and where he can attack, like the status of his opponent. This is really complicated stuff when you have these backs and forths with, you know, the math is always a little bit fuzzy at each game. It's never very precise. Like some of your workers were killed, but you know, how many Hellions did you actually take out? And, but yeah, he seems to be navigating this very, very well.
Yeah, I like the way that he's playing this. Like he's morphed a decent amount of Ravagers. He's playing it very defensively right now. He's making sure that he gets a very high drone count. Kind of working on a few upgrades here and there.
Terran is squeezing out an expansion at 12 o'clock. Instant teleport back there.
Do you see that setup from Innovation? Like he was really ready for that high econ Roach Ravager Corruptor. Look at that, he's building so many turrets to make sure that he can't just be bowled over. But DRG's not really going for that, you know? He's teching up a little bit more. I'm excited to see what he wants to go for as we get later into this game. Like he's almost maxed out, but it doesn't feel like he has anywhere that he can really attack well, right? Like this is it's a weird army for this time of the game.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be quiet on Innovation's side of the map for a little bit here, right? I mean, this specific unit comp, I think out of all the unit comps that Terran could try to get, is the one that you managed to get last. It just takes a long time. So Zerg might have an opportunity for an attack in here. In fact, I think, yeah, he's going to do that right now. Now, is there any merit to like trying to just bile down the CC or anything like that, or what's the game plan?
It looks like he's just biling anything he can. Like he's getting some tanks here and there. He's picking off some defensive structures. He got a few SCVs. Just using the biles is fantastic.
Here come the Corruptors now. The Cyclones are helping drive them back a little bit here. Oh man, even one of those
great biles. Got 2 mines and a Cyclone.
It's crazy.
But look, that was very efficient for for a DRG. That's exactly the type of move you want.
And look, he's just remade everything. He's probably going to come dive in again here. And you know, the number of tanks that were killed is pretty important. Even though it's mech, so you can get more tanks out quickly if you needed to. He picked off quite a bit. And so I guess from there, DRG just rotates up to 12 o'clock and maybe hits there instead. I think you're just trying to find the soft spot in the Terran's defenses. You know, you see a lot of tanks one place. That means they're not defending another location. This is a planetary, though. This isn't the easiest thing to destroy.
Yeah. Well, at least it can't fly away, right?
There's that, yeah.
Get up there and bile the hell out of it. Look at that. Puking all over it as well.
And yeah, this is just guaranteed damage. That you could snipe this, and you could basically get out of here before they're really able to do anything. So,
well, he lost every ground unit, huh?
Yeah, but I think that there is an overall economic lead here for DRG where he can actually dump most of those units and then still build back. And you know, Terran isn't working with much here, man. I mean, this is a 3-base Terran right now. Again, it was just barely a 4-base a little while ago. And I think in the time it takes to remake that command center and try to start taking advantage of it, DRG can just keep expanding and growing, and we're seeing that on his side of the map. The creep spread, excuse me, is amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of hatches put everywhere.
Well, as far as DRG goes, he's going into Greater Spire, continuing those upgrades as well. Looks like he might be making another powerful move here. Gonna open up these rocks.
Well, this is gonna force Terran to come back here and try to defend, which is really keeping DRG's bases safe, and he can continue to soak up as much of the resources as he possibly can from them. And you know, Road Ravager's funny because they're kind of chunky, beefy units, but their supply isn't great. So I don't think we can see Road Ravager forever here.
Yeah.
There's gonna have to be some kind of transition.
Now,
I did see
you have to do a ton of
made.
damage if you're gonna end it on that, for sure.
Yeah. And that might be the way he wants to play. We'll see. You know, there's a chance that DRG might even be able to end this game pretty quickly. But it does seem like Terran has finally, at least supply-wise, managed to get to where he wanted to be all along, you know.
Yeah, let's see how he does here. The Lings go up and actually take all the lock-ons from the Cyclones, so pretty good move right there.
Really great
going down.
Just,
yeah.
You know, you don't have to be cost-efficient with this. And really, the Corruptors, oh, I thought they got the CC. They did not, excuse me. I was going to say the CC's been destroyed. Any CC you can get is a pretty big deal here. Terran does not have a lot to work with, so if you just shut down, you know, one of these locations where you can mine from, it's pretty bad. Corruptors are now chasing these battle cruisers. DRG is kind of just willing his way through this. The further in they get, the more of an overextension it becomes.
This is so interesting to watch. You don't see most people attempt to play against a mech like this. And look at this. He's actually doing a gigantic Mutalisk switch.
So here's what we were waiting for.
Oh, my God.
That's 21 Mutas. There's still 2 battle cruisers in the game. There are Cyclones.
Cyclones are not super good against Mutas, but he's got a lot of them.
Yeah, he has enough. It's something you got to factor in here.
He was lucky with that mine that hit the center of the Lings. Ouch.
Oh, man. Is he repairing that? Yes, he is.
It's all right. Runs up, surrounds some of the Cyclones here, throwing down those vials. You know, a little bit of damage to the BCs. I do love that he continually is reinforcing the Lings, and even though the Lings die quickly, everyone uses auto lock-on for Cyclones because these battles are too fast. Like, it would be so hard to actually, you know, just choose each target. So the Lings kind of draw all the lock-ons, which makes the Cyclones do, like, no damage, basically, against the Ravagers.
By the way, there's all these Mutas out. I think about 20-something.
He's going to have
also
40.
17. He's going to have 40 Mutt-Mutts.
That's crazy. Like 40 Mutas out of nowhere.
Yeah, now he just saw those 2. So I think the hand has been tipped here. Let's go ahead.
Well, he kills this easily.
This is just a massacre. And there's no way to get home. There's no medevacs to pick this up and save it. Look at this. Okay. Now the tanks can go down. And again, you know, this is a really beautiful way to play the game here from DRG. He's basically going to be able to tech switch back and forth between different unit comps and really punish the Terran.
Well, this is the original theory behind how to play against mech with Zerg, is constant unit switches, and we see people do it in different ways nowadays, but this is like the OG way to do it, and he is doing it fantastically.
Yeah, almost sniping the command center here. He can't actually get it, though, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not. As mines come up,
oh my
he's gonna have to turn around. Oh my god, he's gonna get that.
I think we're gonna see a 2-0 here, man. This is crazy. DRG is so good.
So good. Oh, good mine hits, but the damage has been dealt.
Yeah, it's too little too late, I think.
Oh, another very, very good mine hit.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's gonna be all right.
He mines all day, no problem. Oh, those rolling pieces of body. I was like, whoa, where'd those banelings come from?
Again, it's Widow mines that are really keeping the Zerg player from actually just making the neck-breaking move here. But like,
well, that would be a hilarious way for Innovation to come back into this game, because he spent a lot of money on mutas. He has a lot of mutas, and they're not going to fare well against the mines, at least, that's for sure.
Oh, there's really no defense over here. Just one turret is remaining here. Now the Cyclones can start to try to drive this away, but the mutas are just in such a... Oh!
Ooh. Oh! Really good mine
DRG. Careful.
Just playing with fire.
I know. It's like one or two missteps with that, and you will lose literally all the mutas. But again, I think as exciting as it is to see Innovation maybe barely hold, I think we got to go to the big picture here. Oh my God, great play taking out these mines.
But DRG mutas don't counter everything. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
It's hilarious watching him try to kill everything with these mutas. He's making more mutas. He's making lings now as well. Look at the mines, though, man.
Yeah.
Well, the mines being dragged by the ling is kind of neat. But look, if you realize, oh God, now he's on like muta ling. Suddenly Blue Flame Hellion with the mines.
Yeah, I think that DRG might have overdone the muta switch. I think he should have done it and then swapped back into something else here.
Yeah, I think you're
right. There's no tanks with this army.
He tried to use
one,
that,
but you know what I'm saying.
That huge tempo, but you know what? Like, Innovation supply is getting really low right now.
Yeah, well, I think he might have whittled him down low enough. Keep in mind that, some of these bases are actually running out of resources. Oh my God, this is so scary.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay, finally gets it.
At last. Again, though, DRG just with the real estate in this game, man.
Yeah, he owns everything.
Yeah. Now, let's see here. At 12 o'clock, okay, this base is, it's not, that's it.
Dude.
I was about to say, like, that doesn't even have that much, but he's going to lose the SCVs, and then, I think DRG got so ahead of Innovation in this bizarro world. I don't even know what to say. I never would have imagined that in 2020, I'd be casting DRG out macro and outpace Innovation two times in a row.
Well, you call it a bizarro world, but for me, this is a warm bath. This is coming home.
This is the warm bath world.
DRG looking right at this moment like the best Zerg there is. Like
I know, like ever.
He looks fantastic.
All right, we're going to death row for Game 3. If DRG wins here, he will have 3-0'd Innovation. If Innovation takes the game, he will have started his comeback. Let's go.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 아프리카 프렉스 DRG 박수호. 카이지 게이밍 이노베이션 이신영.
It's got to be uncomfortable for Innovation. Like, Innovation never loses like this, ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, this is both these games are ones where Innovation started to do his Skynet macro guy push that just is like, I'm a little bit faster than you. I know exactly how to cut all the corners. I know where to push. I know when to pull away. And I will wear you down. And he's tried it against DRG twice, and DRG, like a trapdoor spider, or like walking into a, you know, a lagoon with an alligator. He just comes out, eats the army. Boom. What are you doing? Stay at home. We've talked about this a lot, but I got to say it again, man. There's nothing worse than playing against a really good Zerg player where you can't even get out of your base. Like, every time you move, they kill you, and it's like, well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. They just always have more. They're always ready.
Yeah, if Zerg treads the line just right, which is incredibly ridiculously hard to do, like if they make exactly the right amount of drones at the right time, and then exactly the right amount of units at the right time, and then move their army to the right place at the right time, it's frightening. Yeah. It's crazy what they can do.
You
at that
come out
point.
and they just have so much more than you, and you're thinking,
and
I feel like I didn't miss anything.
He is nailing it. He is nailing it. He's not over defending. He's not under defending. He's making some amazing tempo plays with his units. He's like having these compositions that seem like, oh, maybe you're like missing something here, but it's like, no, I'm leaning on him with, you know, I have a slightly better economy right now, and I'm going to trade in this area so that I can maintain this advantage. And this is it's such a treat to watch DRG right now.
Yeah, it was something else, man. I mean, even just the as an example, the fact that he stayed on Roach Ravager with the Corruptors for a pretty long period of time. He didn't do it once or twice and then immediately try to tech out of it. He actually sat on that for a while.
Most people get scared and change. Yeah, they don't like that.
It was for long enough. I remember kind of thinking, is he just going to keep doing this? Is there something he doesn't know? And then he switched out at a really good time for the Mutas, right when it looked like, oh, Terran's finally got enough that they could counter-push a Roach Ravager player. And that was when the Mutas came into play, as they killed off the entire army in the middle of the map.
That's right.
And knocked Innovation back into the Stone Age as far as development.
He made you really counter what he was doing, and then he countered that. And
like,
the thing is, he was building his economy all throughout. Like, he was sure to minimize damage to himself, but also not have too many defending units. His economy exploded. God, he's so good right now.
It's kind of crazy to see Innovation get bench pressed in these games too.
Bench press?
He's getting bench pressed, man.
DRG lifts for sure.
For sure, man. He puts one Innovation on each side of the bar.
Well,
doesn't even have a spotter.
Even I can lift that. I mean, pencil neck nerd over here, man.
Yeah.
No, DRG's looking fantastic. By the way, we have Innovation with, again, the third command center build into the starport. Here he's made a Viking. And I think that this is some counterplay because DRG has been sacrificing each game Overlords to scout, right?
Right.
And he is going to go into mech, but not until that's dead. So that's kind of a big deal, that he does not see that it's mech yet.
Okay.
And look, it's melee upgrades for DRG. And that shows that he thinks it's probably bio.
Yeah, he wants to be using Lingbane Muta.
Yeah, you generally don't want melee upgrades against mech. Sometimes you'll see a great player make it work, but it's not really optimal.
And this might be the first game where we're seeing a little strategic maneuver here by Innovation that will allow him to outpace DRG, or at least put DRG in a position in this game where it's going to be a little bit more of a headache to try to come out with a victory. The investment in the tech early on is really one of the most significant moments in the entire game, because that's the starting stuff you're going to use to try to get you to where you need to be, to try to propel yourself forward into a position of winningness. And yeah, if this is the obsolete unit comp because he didn't get a good read on what's going on, that's going to be ideal for the Terran.
And he just got a full read on what's going on, right? He just saw the Baliness and 2 Evo chambers. That's not something you'll see if they're going Roach. So Innovation sees that basically getting that early Viking has given him a bit of an advantage that he didn't have in that last game going mech. So that's a really good thing for Innovation, who, by the way, already has his double armories going and is getting upgrades for Battle Mech. So he's going to be roaming a lot this game. And that's a great thing to do against these Lingbane type of compositions, I think. Although, I mean, basically you need to surround this unit comp as it comes out. Like you need to surround it with the Lings and get the Banes to hit the Hellions, and then you can deal with it. But it's very hard to do.
Yeah, Zerg almost always want to have a surround on what they're hitting. I mean, the Terran has stim and kiting. Their units are very nimble and can kind of run and shoot, whereas Protoss can oftentimes obstruct the entrance or the way the engagement goes with force fields coming down here. But yeah, in a perfect world for Zerg, you get in there, you completely cover the surface area, and you do a smothering kill. Now, I'm excited for this game because I want to see how DRG handles this in less than ideal circumstances.
Yeah, like, okay, he sees Blue Flame now. Let's see if a Roach Warren goes down.
Oh,
it disconnects.
That was scary.
Like, oh, we have resumed from replay now, DRG. He's like, oh, damn.
Oh, damn it, sorry.
He's like, okay, let's just go into the next game.
I'll plug my computer back in.
Yeah. So see, there's the surround. The Baneling's trying to get on top of the Hellions.
Ridiculous.
All right, so he does a little bit of a surround, but Blue Flame drop into the main base here. He's frying a lot of drones.
Yeah, these drones are being split pretty well. Oh, there's still 4 Hellions alive here. This is a lot of damage. 18 kills. Definitely paying for itself.
Yeah. So that looked very, very good for Innovation. That was some very nice harassment. And you can see, right, this is, they're both kind of trying to do what they're meant to do with these comps against each other. Mutas are being made, but Drilling Claws as well. A Thor going to be coming out, so it doesn't seem like the Mutas are going to be all that useful. I gotta say, right now, I'm very much liking this game for Innovation.
I think we can definitely end up going into a game 4 here, and this is why we have these guys play a best of 5 like this, is Innovation was able to learn from game 1 and 2 and adapt and change his play style.
Yeah,
DRG will still be in a lead here if he comes out on top, which means he'll be able to try to possibly come up and engineer something that might be able to give him a win back here. But you can see Innovation, a player that absolutely can adapt.
All right, nice lock-ons there. Gets a couple mutas. Still re-droning here is DRG. You can see how difficult some of this is. Even 2 Blue Flame Hellions, you got to be a little bit afraid of the amount of damage output against light. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Things quieting down for a little bit. Zerg continuing to grow on the map here. Innovation's really gotten to play the game he wanted to play here. We are again seeing DRG lean into the style that actually brought him a lot of success in Heart of the Swarm.
I'm trying to see how he actually ends up killing an army like this. It seems very difficult.
Well, counterattacking is also an option here. Mech is not that fast.
That's true.
And you can isolate certain big, strong units and really do a lot of damage. Oh, this is actually going to be a flank.
Flank. Yeah, he's running these Lings in there, but the mines are just doing work.
Okay, that was actually terrible. He might actually have to tap out. This is like...
Yeah, no, it's not working at all for him.
Yeah. Again, all of this because of the unique tech decisions made here.
A single Viking is the difference this game between this game and last game. He changed that little piece up. He knows that DRG is relying on an Overlord Scout. And so he prevented it, and here he goes. He's like, I mean, the game's not over.
But he actually crushed that. I'm kind of,
yeah, I'm kind of shocked. He killed it, but I still think this is good for Innovation, right? He's on 4 base against 4 base.
No,
he's still got the better unit comp. It's like, yeah, he's losing some units here and there, but
gotta be careful. You know, when these Thors get surrounded, there's no way for them to get away.
Yeah,
and. This is another Thor that's going to get caught over here.
Wow.
See, is he going to get that one?
No, he's not going to get that
it's too much damage. But the Widowmine goes down here. Oh, no, hold on. He will actually get that. Look at that.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm actually a little bit confused about what happened there. Maybe the SCV stopped preparing. Something looked kind of funny about that.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
I don't even know what to say right now. We were just talking about how DRG was dead, and now he's come all the way across the map.
Well, you did a good job picking off some stray units in the middle, right? There were like 3 extra Thors killed already. Okay. And now he's got 2 Thors that are fighting against Lings, basically.
I got to point out here, you know, these Thors are getting picked off one by one. They take a long time to make, and like, I can't even believe this.
Really?
I am just blown away. DRG has 3-0'd Innovation. Incredible.
I mean,
just incredible.
Amazing.
I mean, and that was the game I thought Innovation would be able to take, but DRG showing, you know, he might be from a different era,
Well,
but he's going to make
even
this
that
era
game,
his as well.
Innovation definitely had an advantage, but the second DRG picked off the army, he immediately went looking for more units, and it kind of snowballed for him very quickly. DRG is a player to look out for right now.
No kidding,
This
man.
guy, he is the real deal.
Okay, guys, we're going to have an interview with DRG, see how he's feeling now that he's the first player to move on to the round of 4 of Season 2 of the GSL.
무려 8년 만에
Wow,
4강 진출입니다.
DRG
아프리카
successfully
스테이트
takes his
박수호
revenge
선수
against
만나뵙겠습니다.
Innovation with a
축하드립니다.
perfect score.
네,
Congratulations.
정말
Thank
순식간에
you.
끝났습니다.
Wow, that was such a quick series.
3-0
3-0 revenge.
정말 제대로 하셨네요. 소감 어떠신가요?
How do you feel?
그러게 6년 전 복수도 똑같이 해서 또 만족스럽고요.
I'm really happy to have
오늘
acquired the win
경기
today.
전에
And
제가
before the match,
3대0이든 3대0을 당하든 금방 끝날
whether
것
I get
같았는데
3-0 or I
이렇게
3-0,
딱 생각한 대로 되니까
I knew that the
제가
game would be
준비한
very
게,
quick.
잘 들어맞은 것 같아서 더
and I think
뿌듯하네요.
like all my preparation
정말
definitely bore fruit.
팬분들께서 채팅창에서 아주 난리였던데요.
And the chat went
세라를
wild
보는
today.
것 같다.
They
이런
said
얘기
it's
많이
like
하셨거든요.
watching Sarah play.
세라를 많이 흡수하신 부분도 있을까요?
So did you take note of Sarah's plays?
물론이죠. 이번에
Yes, definitely.
시즌 파이널 경기도 그렇고
I took note of the season finals,
제가 뭐 낮밤을 안 가리고 다 챙겨보고
and I watched every Sarah match,
다또 분석하기 때문에
and I analyzed every plays he does.
노력하고 있어요.
네, 오늘 뮤릭링 운영 보는데
The Muralisk lane play was so phenomenal today. You know, it reminded me
여전히
of the past.
뮤탈리스크 뮤릭링 운영 좀 가장 좋아하실까요?
Do you favorite the Muralisk Ling Ling strategy?
이 뭔가 스피드함이 있어가지고.
Well, yes, I mean the Muralisk Ling Ling is definitely very hasty,
치고 갖고 난타전하는 게 보는 입장에서도 좋고.
and I really like the build,
뮤링링이
and it's
제일
really
손이
easy to
가는 것 같아요.
play for me.
사실 정말 믿기지가 않는 게 지금 선수들 중에서
It is
유일하게
unbelievable
30대 시잖아요.
because you are the only one in his 30s
전혀
to play in the
나오지가
GSL.
않고요. 집중력 문제, 기타 다른 문제
And your
나온 적이
concentration level and your
없습니다.
focus
이런
is so on
30대와
point.
20대의 차이 본인도 전혀 느끼는 게 없으신가요?
So do you feel that you're old when you play?
차이 확실히 있고요. 피지컬 차이.
I mean, I do feel I'm old when I'm on stage.
게임을 한 3, 4일 정도 놔버리면 그 다음 일주일이 너무 힘들어요.
You know, it's
손이 안
really hard
돌아와서.
like when I
예전에는
play
그런
too
게
much.
없었거든요.
because of my
그래서
age.
뭐 일요일이든 뭐 공휴일이든 최대한 레더는 막 5게임 정도 하더라도 손의 감각을 유지하려고
So you know, I
노력하고
still try to play a lot of ladder
정말
games
오늘
to
8년 만에
remain
4강
in
진출,
shape.
정말 감격적인
Wow,
결과를
what an amazing
만들어냈는데요.
series today,
자,
DRG.
4강 상대는 바로 다음
And
경기에서
your round of 4 opponent will be decided
조준혁 선수와
in the later
이병렬
match today.
선수가
It's a match
있는데요.
between Dream and
8년 만에
Rogue.
4강 상대로 어떤 선수가
So which
좋을까요?
player do you prefer as a round of 4 opponent?
사실 이번에 준혁이가 연습을 많이 도와줘서
You know, this time Dream really helped me with the scrims and the practices.
올라왔으면 하는 바람도 있지만
So I do hope Dream
테란전
advances.
준비하면 스트레스를 너무 많이 받아가지고
But then, you know, it's really hard to prepare against the Terran.
그래서 이제 테란전도 많이 했고 그래도 차라리 저그가 올라오면
So,
경기
you know,
진행하는데 편하진 않을까 싶어요.
I maybe want a Zerg to
저저전
advance.
벌스에 대한 두려움은 없으세요?
So are you not scared of the ZVZ matchup?
두려움도 있긴 한데 또 실력적으로
I mean, slightly I'm worried.
병렬이보단 지금 미치라고 생각하기 때문에
I still do think like I'm worse than Rogue in terms of gameplay.
네, 그렇군요. 저저전이 차라리 나을 것
So you're
같다.
saying ZVZ matchup is better than the
정말 많은 분들이
ZVT.
좋아하실
Okay.
것 같아요. 8년 만에
So I'm
4강
sure your fans are
마지막
rejoiced.
한마디까지 들어보겠습니다.
So before you go, anything you want to say?
네. 스타투 지원 아껴주지 아낌없이 해주시는 서석일 대표님께 항상 감사드리고
Thank you, Kevin, for supporting GSL. and StarCraft 2.
도우기 그리고
And
태양이
thanks to
너무너무
Tasia,
고맙고, 아프리카
you know,
팬들도
Cure,
고맙고요.
and everyone for helping me with
팬분들이
practice.
이번에는 신영이 한 힘들지 않을까 예상을 많이 하시더라고요.
And the fans
그래서
actually
저는
anticipated me to,
그런
you know, be
뻔한
taken
결과
down by
만들고 싶지
Innovation
않아서
this time.
정말 열심히
But I'm
했고
glad I won in the
나름대로
end.
결과가 그대로 나온 것 같아가지고 뿌듯하네요. 그리고
So I'm really
남은
satisfied today.
4강도
And for the
이제
remaining
시즌
round of 4
시작할 때까지만
match.
해도 결승은 너무 막 뜬구름 같은
And you know,
얘기
before the
같았는데
GSL, I feel like the finals was so long, so far away. But I think I'm really close to it now. So I'm gonna try harder and try to lift the trophy.
다시 한번 4강 진출 진심으로
Once again,
축하드립니다.
congratulations on the advancement. Thank you.
What an insane plot twist in this GSL. 3-0. It's cool that he won, but 3-0.
He can absolutely win this tournament.
I think he's the guy who's supposed to win this tournament. I mean, wow. That's so crazy.
No, really. He's...
I think out of all the possible scores, I just thought that would be the least likely. I thought it would be cool if DRG won, but I imagined it would probably be pretty close. We were even talking about before the game started, this should be a real back and forth, a real
it
a
seemed more
DBZ
likely
fight,
than for it to be a somewhat one-sided 3-0.
He plays from early game into late game basically perfectly. He's completely exploiting the fact that Innovation is known to have the best pushes at times in StarCraft 2. He let the pushes come in. He smashed them. Even in the last game, it looked like Zerg might not be able to handle that, but Innovation had too many Thors rallying.
Yeah. He
caught
got a little
every
bit
Thor.
sloppy at the end, unfortunately. I think Innovation should have theoretically been able to take that game, and we should have gone on to a game 4. But DRG looked better overall, so I think he was still going to take the series.
I think we got to cut to commercial, but I'm not getting the audio. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go away.
전태양 주특기 나왔죠. 속도죠.
나왔습니다. 속도.
조성주가 속도에서 밀리고 있습니다.
네.
지금 전태양 입장에서 트리플 활성화시키면서 운영하려고 툭치는 건데
이거 안 돼요, 이거 안 돼요.
생각보다 어려워요.
자, 이거 안 돼요.
조성주가 다녀간 트릭스 살아가지 마.
기다리고 있어요.
아 근데 일방선 있으면
건설
장작
보통
동원해서 전태양도
이거 막나요.
아 이거 밤까마귀 없거든요. 조성주 여기에
내려서.
오 뒤늦게 왔어요. 아 근데 하필 병력이 안타이되는 루선에 방해티를 쓴 거라
내려지고 정리.
쉽게 너무 깔끔하게 막았습니다.
인구수 40격차.
다시 한번 본진 장악당하면 힘쭉 빠집니다.
전태양.
게다가 어머니가 바이킹까지 써요.
그렇죠.
여기 잡히면 조성주는 할 게 없어요. 그렇습니다.
깨져.
게다가 우주왕 지워진 것까지 들켰어요.
이거 어떻게 하죠? 조성준 선수가 어떤 생각을 하는지 전태양 선수는 다 알고 있어요. 내렸어요.
네, 그냥 싸우면 또 사이클 해볼 만하죠. 일병과 싸움을.
박해대주고.
네, 다만 반가방 에너지가 있으니까 컨트롤을 계속 해주면서
매트릭스.
오전정이 하나만.
하나.
근데 저것도 오히려 살릴 수 있어 보이.
돌려요.
오, 상황이 의료선 부스터로 살릴 수 있어. 와 이걸.
와 이걸.
이러면 에너지도 뺏고
와,
사이클로
역전을
지키면서
통해.
마지막에까지
이걸 이렇게.
뚫을 바닥 나오게 뚫을 수 있어요.
시작은 내기 묶였고요.
전차가 없으면 바이킹이 제공권 에너지 바로 붙었어요.
내려서 이거
전태 선수 반가방 에너지가 한 번에 빠졌어요. 언덕이에 전차
좀 막아요 이거.
하지만 언덕 아래 전차 근데
전차 또
사이클론에 추가 변속하면 조성주 빨랐습니다.
자 스캡 뿌리면서 지금 위에
하나
하나 더. 자 이거 병력이 와 이거 하나 더.
지금 딱
세번 연속 나가는 조성준 시내를 따낼 때까지 계속 나가 승리 얻어내네요.
여기서 부속건물만 다 깨고 전멸을 해도 충분하죠. 이거 공방에서 공방상 조성주가 됐거든요.
포기고 깨요.
파워리 기술.
우와. 자 어떻게 와 공방아. 와 여기서
어차피 버릴 해병.
네 성과를 올립니다.
그냥 조성주가 덮칠 수 있는
네.
조성주 야마토 작전 어디까지?
들어왔어요. 여기까지 오면서 밀려 한번 타이밍 잡았습니다.
우와 이걸
자 뒤로
기습했고
빠져요. 자 이렇게 되면 점수차가 7개.
이거 인구수 50 차이 났어요. 이거 절대 내줄 수 없는 내줄 수 없는 위치. 고를 보려서 고를. 와 내줄 수 없는 위치 내줬어요.
전수들은 밀어버리네요.
자 전술이 잘 만큼 해줬습니다. 마무리를 바이킹이
추가 병력
해줬습니다.
왔고 추가 병력 왔고 이 제공권 싸움인데 전수 2기, 3기, 4기 남았어요.
우주공항이 지금 딱 4개 있는 곳에 그대로 바이킹이 여기 잡으면 차원도야 자리 잡았어요. 생산 지도의 차가
그렇죠. 뽑지 못하게 자 위치 잡고 있습니다.
대란의 최종 유닛이 이번 롯데파운드에서 이 세트를 마무리할 수 있겠는데요. 자동 포탑으로 버틸 수 있느냐입니다. 대장갑도 맞춰놓겠다. 자동 포탑으로 한번 버틸 수만 있으면 도명모드
인구수 80차에
아 이게 근데 인구수 차이가 결국 많이 나고 왔어요.
전투수는 차 타이밍으로 승리를 따내면서 2대 경기를 원점을 돌립니다.
은폐 베이스의 가능성이 확 올라가죠.
들어오는 건 확인하고 뒤로
유인
끌어당기는
역대
같이
맞죠?
뒤로 맞았어요.
반가운데요 당했지.
우와 야 낚였어요.
아니 자동 포탑 썼거든요. 그럼 뚫어야 돼요. 그럼 무조건 뚫어야 돼요. 자 근데 뭔가 힘이 부족해 보이는 뚫을 수 있는 뚫을
전차 하나 자 뚫습니다.
이 정도면 그다음에 아직 몰라 컨트롤 그거보다 완전돼 있거든요. 안돼 장제됐다 장제됐어요.
이것도 막아요. 판단력과 수비력에 견제 능력까지 와 오늘 전태양수 엄청난 경기를 보여주네요.
여기 봐라.
거기 봐.
여기 봐. 근데 이게 통하면 3대3이에요. 그렇죠. 그리고 시간 바꾸면 돼요. 여기 시간 바꾸면 돼요.
여기 3개 있습니다.
방금이 드릭스 들어갑니다. 들어갑니다. 전태 급해요.
대장갑으로 막아야 밀어야
자동 포탑 깔아요. 자동 포탑도 건설을 먼저 12개 잡았어요. 이거 흐름이 바뀌었습니다. 이거 지금 저 트로슨이 본진 쪽에 떨어지는 것보다 여기 병력만 이거 맞습니다. 여기 병력이 이러면 특공대 갈 게 없어요.
네, 인구 차이 50 이상 벌어졌습니다.
본진 쪽에 떨어진 병력이 오히려 중앙 쪽에 병력 비었어요. 뚫을 수 있습니다.
뚫습니다. 아직 끝나지 않았다. 이 조성주 세트 어렵던 상황이 가능해서 승리에 따릅니다.
건설 로봇 동원해서 싸우는 타이밍 이제 슬슬 잡아도 됩니다.
네,
벙커 완성되기 전에 이게 우승자의 결정 달콤하고도 전장에 먼저 맞았어요. 전장에 먼저 맞았어요. 한번더
조성주의 시대.
아니 8년 동안 그 누구도 못했던 걸
이 선수가네요.
조성주가 가장 믿고 그 벤치가 그 벤치가 2대0으로 밀렸다.
GSL 역사에서 그 어떤 선수가 이제 팍팍을 조성주 선수가 해냅니다.
라운드 8 드림 로그 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S 더 커밍 스톰
What is up, everybody? What a series! Oh my God, I'm still blown away.
Yeah.
DRG has 3-0'd Innovation. I mean, we knew it was possible. I didn't realize he was going to just bulldoze this guy.
Yeah.
So DRG is the first player to survive to the round of 4. What an insane season! And up next, we have Dream versus Rogue. This is oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go to an interview, but I don't see our interviewer up here. Well.
무려 4년 만에 공식전 대결을 펼치는 두 선수.
Okay, I guess
we'll do the interview ourselves.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Okay, says hello, 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 hello. Everyone says hello.
Andy here now. Andy, go ahead.
이후 4년 만에
After 2016, it's your round of 8 in
앞서
4 years.
수 선수와 연습을 하셨더라고요.
And
좀 많이
DRG actually
기대오셨나요?
said you scrimmed with DRG.
연습을
So how was the practice?
많이 하진 않았고
Well, I didn't practice that much,
충분히 생각을 많이 했기 때문에 준비는
but I
시간이
definitely
되었고,
did think about the game a lot.
수영이랑 연습을 하면서
And while practicing against
많이
DRG,
배워서
I learned a lot from
잘해줬기
him,
때문에 오늘
and I definitely upgraded my play.
자신 있다.
So you're saying you're confident?
말씀을 하시길 조준혁 선수가 아직 4강에
And your opponent actually mentioned that you're not skilled enough to go to round of 4.
커지셨을까요?
So did this provoke you in any way?
4강을 제가 그래도 꽤 가봤는데
I mean, round of 4 I've attended quite a few times.
그래도 박렬이 형이 올해 초에 우승도 했고
But you know, Rogue
되게 잘하고 있기 때문에
was a champion, and he's really good right now. So as a contestant, I really want to take him down.
보겠습니다. 두 시즌 만에 다시 8강에 돌아왔는데요.
And Rogue is back after 2 seasons in the round of 8.
선수에게 자신이 있나 저희가 이유를 찾아보니까
So
이병렬 선수의
the
압도적인
reason
커리어도
why
있을
Rogue
거고요.
is
또
really
그동안
confident going up
벤치별로
against
단 한
DRG
번도 진
is
적이
because he is
없으시더라고요.
really favored in the head-to-head record.
네.
준혁이랑 하면은 왠지 모르게 게임이 좀 잘 되는
I mean, when I play against Dream, I don't know why, but I always play really good against him.
이병렬 선수의 그 말씀을 듣고 사실 좀 인정하기 힘든 것 같은데
And it feels
이병렬
like
선수의
Dream
마음은
doesn't really
바뀌지 않으셨나요?
accept that
예전에는
record.
잘했지만 이제 지금은
I mean, Dream used to be really good
온 것도
in the
저는
past,
되게 잘한 거라고 생각하고
but I think it's a miracle that he made it to the round of 4, round of 8.
생각하고 있어요.
And I still do believe that he's not adequate enough for the round of 4.
아직 부족하다 말씀이신 것 같습니다.
And that's Rock's opinion.
선수,
So Dream,
조준혁 선수는 그렇다면 어떠세요? 앞선 경기가 3대 0으로 끝났거든요.
you know, the match before it ended with a perfect 3-0 score. So what do you predict for this series?
저는 앞 경기는 신영 형이 이길 줄 알았는데
Well, you know, the previous match I thought Innovation would win,
결과가 나왔고
and that was a big upset.
그래서 이번 경기도 제가 어떻게 보면 다들 병렬이 형이 이길 거라 생각하겠지만
So this match, everyone probably thinks Rogue's gonna win.
저는 3대1 정도로 이길 것 같아요.
So I think I'm gonna take him down 3-1.
이병렬 선수는
And
어떻게
Rogue, on the
예상하세요?
other hand, how do you predict the score to be?
자신이 없어가지고 연습 때 너무 많이 져가지고
You know, I lost.
이 정도로 이길 것 같아요.
I lost quite a lot in the practice, so I'm less confident now. So I'm gonna win 3-2.
이렇게 스코어 예상까지
And there was the score
들어갔는데요.
predictions from both players.
선수는 GSL 첫 4강을 노리고요.
And Dream
이병렬 선수는
is
지난
aiming
시즌
to get his first
24강 탈락을
round
만회하기
4
위해
spot in
4강을
GSL.
다시 한번 노리고 있습니다. 과연 두 선수의
And which
결과는
one
어떻게
out of
될지
these two
타이밍
players
두 번째
will
경기
advance to round of 4?
시작하겠습니다.
We'll kick it off now.
I don't know who advances. I think it's going to be Rogue, but
Oh,
I mean, we already saw what happened earlier. I mean, look,
I'm gonna go with DRG 3-0 actually.
DRG 3-0 is this one as well? Okay.
Yeah, pretty fairly certain of it.
They just start the game up, and then there's another spawn there, and there's DRG
Yeah.
splitting his drones. We suddenly zoom in on him. We do all 3 player intros. The players pause the game. They say, whoa, 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 whoa. There's a 3rd player in this game.
DRG unpauses it.
Yeah,
and
unpauses the
circling
game.
rushes.
They use up their 3 pauses, and then
Yeah.
the game just goes on, and DRG beats both the players. Players are shaking their heads, yelling at the refs. We escort them out by security, and it's a DRG versus DRG in the round of 4.
Which, of course, he wins and goes to the
Yes.
finals.
He doesn't even lose. He just
Yeah.
moves on.
He doesn't
Isn't that crazy how that works like that?
Yeah. Okay, who do you think actually wins out of these two?
I think Rogue, but I mean, I'm just.
Here's the
I mean,
thing.
here's the truth. The DRG innovation thing shouldn't have any impact on my decision making here. It's sort of like being like, well, I don't know, it rained yesterday and it's raining today. I mean, if we're going to be really honest about this, right? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But my confidence has been shaken a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
out of all the possible scores, I thought DRG 3-0 was literally the least likely. And he crushed so hard that it made it look like it was so obvious that Innovation never had a chance.
Yeah.
Look, I think Rogue has a different way of playing than DRG. I think
Yes.
Dream's really good, and we don't really know exactly where he's at. He's performed well, but we have to keep pushing him through this system, this tournament, to kind of see where he can land. He might be able to beat Rogue, but Rogue is just basically always a safe bet for someone who advances.
He's always a
He's
good bet.
always a good bet. He's
Not a
always
shooting
top tier.
bet, but a good bet.
Yeah, it's just like, it's never unreasonable to say Rogue will win this.
Yes, absolutely. He's one of the greatest of all time.
So, I mean, yeah, that's my take here. We're going to start this out on Pillars of Gold. So we should have a pretty unusual game that won't be reflected of the other games here.
They're both such different players than the last two.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Dream has to offer here. He's been in the background of GSL for a long time. Now he's here in the round of 8. Let's see how he does against Rogue. This is game 1. Let's go.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 드림 조중혁. 지네어 그래밍스 로그 이병렬.
All right. The one thing that really comes to my mind here, I feel like I don't need to describe Rogue's play all that much. He finds things that he thinks are strong and uses them quite a bit. I feel like
Beautifully explained.
well, I tried to explain it some last group because I feel like we kind of call him like a great supreme late game player, but he only does that when he thinks it's like the most strong abusive thing possible.
Yeah, when it's the best way to actually win.
Yeah, and then like as soon as Nidus was strong, he just used that endlessly. And like before all of that, he was a sniper in Pro League. So he's kind of someone who will do whatever he thinks is going to get him a victory, which is not, you'd be like, well, everyone does. No, and everyone does not do that. That is absolutely, like, he's almost closer to parting than to a lot of players, and not stylistically really, but in what they choose to do, which is kind like they both kind of have that idea in their head, I think, where it's like, let's do the strong thing here that's really hard to stop, right? They both kind of do something like that. So I actually, my opinion of Rogue, because I mean, I've been like the #1 Rogue fan forever. And I really developed that when he started going late game a lot. But the more I watch him, the more I kind of look at what he's choosing to do, it does feel more of a parting-esque way. But all that aside, Dream's TVZ that we've seen so far has been a bit more on the technical side. He's been a little bit fancier. He doesn't really play like Innovation at all. He's more likely to do like a Hellbat battlecruiser type play, right? Like he'll have some kind of teched out neat stuff that he does a lot of the time. Now that being said, this is the exact opening we saw from Innovation the first 3 games, or the 3 games we already saw. But it's a solid opener, so we'll see where he goes from there.
I think you've described Rogue really well here. I mean, you know, one thing about Innovation, it was kind of the opposite of Rogue in a lot of ways, is he just relies on having good mechanics. He's just trying to figure out how to get the right opening here where he can have enough momentum behind him, where he can control his army better, his bigger army better, because he macroed better, and just kind of slowly close in and win. I mean, he's much more of an algorithm Terran.
Yeah.
But you're totally right. Rogue just looks at whatever is going to be the most effective guaranteed victory. Is that Nidus play? Is it huge macro endgame? Is it a crazy timing? He'll really do it all, actually.
Yeah, I think it's driven home a lot, not only by the way his styles have changed over the years, but you know, Zerg endgame was very, very strong in the last year, and he mostly did Niduses because it was kind of stronger. So even the thing he was already good at, he's like, nah, I don't need to go there. We'll just go Nidus. Anyways, all that being said, this is a bio build off of 3 command centers very quickly. He is getting a Viking to help push back some overlords. In the meantime, Rogue, he's just getting his speed. We'll see him throw down a couple Evos soon here, I think.
Yeah, now, these guys, historically, it's been one where, you know, Rogue has pretty much dominated Dream. Dream was just, you know, another obstacle to get through in a tournament, but never a real challenge here. Now, Dream seems to be doing better than playing better than he ever has before. He seems to be in good shape, and he's definitely played well in this tournament, but Rogue is a real hurdle here. Yeah. Rogue is like one of the hardest bosses to get past. You know, in this game of GSL here, where it's like, I mean, if Dream can beat Rogue, then I feel like, who can he not beat? Again, also, this is a little bit of a different. There's a little bit of a different setting here too. Dream has survived the group stage.
Yeah.
But now we're in the best of 5 part of GSL, where there's a lot more planning. Rogue basically only prepared for this opponent, his style of play, these maps they're on. And so that's where I worry a little bit, because I do feel like Rogue is also a player who has proven repeatedly that he can plan pretty much better than almost anybody in the game.
Yeah, he is good at planning.
He's very good at that Korean tournament style of like, all right, you're going to have 5 or 7 games maximum. Come up with 5 or 7 of literally the greatest builds we've ever seen against this person.
Definitely, we've seen that out of him. Looking at this game right now, kind of an interesting Roach Warren going down here for Rogue. I guess he didn't technically see that this is bio. His Overlord flew in, and all he got to see was a reactored factory and a command center. So hasn't seen too much information as of yet. I think that's what the Roach Warren is for. It's like a safety button. He doesn't want to play a game like we saw DRG versus Innovation, even though DRG ended up winning that one. A few Roaches coming out.
Yeah, let's see how many more he ends up making here. And I'm just excited to see what is going to be Dream's first push and how's it going to look.
Yeah.
I think this is a series, if I had to predict, it should either be pretty close or it's going to be Rogue completely smashing him.
Well, now I'm hoping it's just Dream smashing Rogue.
Oh, well.
Just give it some more of those.
I welcome it. I think now we're going to get to see how the control is, how the fights are going to go.
He doesn't quite have 1-1 yet. He's setting up to attack this 4th base, such an important moment in the game.
Yeah, this is really the most significant moment once we enter into mid-game here for TVZ is, you know, how does this first fight go? Kills off 1 queen, almost gets a second here.
Yeah, he has some Roaches in here. No Banes. He is going into Roach Ravager relatively heavily. He does have 1/1 for his Lings, though.
He's got enough Ravagers he can peg the tank if it's in siege mode and just take it out. So I think Dream, wisely so, is abandoning any kind of push with the tank here, actually sending the tank back home. Let's not forget, one of the ways we saw Innovation lose earlier was that he just hemorrhaged too many tanks, and ultimately there was nothing you could do to stop DRG with his Roach Ravager army.
Well, we see here it's kind of interesting from Rogue, right? Like, he opened with the Lings, now he's into Roach Ravager Ling, and now he's getting a Spire.
Yeah.
And this is all against regular bio play. But Dream is being pretty careful. Like, he's going to harass a little bit with a couple medevac submarines, which is a great thing to do against this type of composition. But back at home, getting concussive shells, some Liberators, some siege tanks. And, I mean, if he's sitting defensively with most of his units, there's definitely no sort of kill timing or anything for Rogue.
Hold on a second here. Is he? Oh my God. Okay. You know, there's never a moment where I try to call ahead of time if a bile's going to connect with a target. And I was like, is that really going to? And yeah, and then it did. It actually took out the medevac.
Yeah, you could tell he wasn't looking at those units. Yeah. Like, they were just standing there. Okay, a little bit of a drop into the main base. He's not going to find any real damage here, though. Picks off a Queen, has to pick up.
Yeah, this is one of these games where the Terran can't really put their feet on the ground, and losing another medevac. And this is where I am now worried for Dream. I feel like we have a feel for kind of where he's at as a player.
Okay.
And it's one where, like, he is not able to, you know, when he harasses, there's a chance he actually ends up losing more than he gains, which is always a bad sign for the Terran.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying, but someone that's kind of similar in that way, that still has put out some great TVZs, would be Tasia, right? So we could look to that, where it's like, okay, so far, Dream has done strategically a lot of correct moves with his army, even though maybe his army awareness and micro hasn't been that top tier that we see from, you know, Maru and Innovation.
So we might have the Zerg actually attack in here.
Yeah, he's going to have 2/2. He's going to have Baneling speed very shortly here, too, and that's when he's powerful.
He's going to have, he's going to have the armor to actually soak damage and still come in, and then he's going to have the speed at which to come in there and do really critical damage. Let's keep in mind that it's Terran on 3 bases, just now taking the 4th. This is where the attention will shift back over to the Terran side of the map, as Zerg may or may not have enough to actually either destroy or punt the command center back off of this location.
Well, this command center, I mean, this attack should be able to do something.
Oh my God. All right, the siege tank is sieging up. Is not going to really be able to do any effective damage over here. So many Roaches and Lings coming in here. Now the command center was picked up. Zerg backs off. Continues to reproduce. We actually have 21 more Banelings coming down here. Thor is sniped.
You know, Dream has enough to stay alive during all of this.
Yeah.
He's not defending perfectly, but he's defending well enough. But Rogue is still getting a bit of damage in here and there.
But let's see how this next attack does coming in here. It looks like he might actually, excuse me, he's not going to go to the 3rd. I thought he was. He's actually going to come back here and just get rid of this medevac. He doesn't want to have any extra losses here. And again, you know, this is one of these moments where I understand the idea behind what Dream's doing, but is Dream going to end up, when all these little battles are done and when all these little exchanges have added up, is he just going to be behind this game? I worry that he might be.
Well, right now he's maxed out. He's got some good upgrades. He's got a bigger army, to be honest. He picks off this base, but that base is not the most impactful.
Yeah, you can see now, I mean, these tanks just immediately destroyed. Kind of a funny engage, though. I mean, the Ravagers weren't able to get into an angle there where they would have been able to fire their biles before the tanks would have been killed earlier.
Yeah.
So they Zerg lost a decent amount. Dream, by the way, looking really good. I think he had some bumpy engagements in the start.
Yeah.
But he seems like he's fine.
He's fielding a very large army. He's got his 4 bases. He's nailing his upgrades, right? He's got that 3/3 on the way right now. Yeah, I mean, I think he is playing a good game. It looks different from a lot of the games that we've become kind of spoiled with in Terran vs. Zerg. You know, everyone's used to Maru and Innovation, where you're like, damn, he's keeping the pressure on. His micro is perfect. It's amazing. This is a little bit different. You know, it's a little bit more on the strategic bend of it, I would say. And he's doing well with it, right? Like you see him, he's switching up his unit composition a little bit. Of course, we see the Ultralisk Cavern coming down for Rogue. He's continuing to upgrade. He's continuing to expand. So we're going to have to see a little bit more out of Dream.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
6 drones killed. Nice. Now, you know, as Zerg comes in and mops this up, is Zerg going to have an opportunity to try to hit 12 o'clock? The upgrades have never stopped on either side. I do feel like Dream is playing a pretty good control game. I think pushing through here might be a good idea if he can just push the creep back a little bit. There's only 1 or 2 tumors up there.
Yeah, let's see what his control is looking like in this fight. There's a lot of Banelings mixed in here right now.
This is a pretty stuffy area to try to get through. There's not a lot of ways to get surrounds there, especially with Ravagers. You know, they're fat, bulky units.
Oh,
they kind of get in the way of each other.
Yeah. Nice counterattack here. I really like this usage of the Mutalisk. In fact, I think we see a Thor coming back maybe in a medevac to try to help out again with that. But in the meantime, we have Dream actually pushing in here. All right, starting to micro back a bit. Okay, some pretty good micro.
Look at these Banes. These Banes stuck behind the Ravagers. Oh my God!
Yeah, they do finally get out into the front and will pick off a lot of these Marines. And it seems like Rogue will be able to hold this. Wow, 24 Marines going down to these mutas in the meantime.
Yeah, this is actually quite a bit. I mean, the hatchery stays alive here.
Oh my God. He's going to +3
attack.
That is
great play.
That's so painful.
Looks like armor finishes, but like, yeah, I mean, still, not having that attack is huge. The attack is actually even more important than the armor.
Much more. Wow, that was a great pickoff right there. Of course, he doesn't know which one has which, but nice kill there from Rogue.
He'll know pretty soon when he clicks on another unit and sees, okay, you have armor and not attack. Now, I'm worried that this Wrecking Ball of Mutalisks might have done too much damage here.
Yeah.
We have Rogue on 91 workers. We have Terran on getting back up to 60. Now there's mules in here. The Terran's economy isn't. The Terran's economy is not bad. The Zerg's economy is just comically good right now.
Yeah, he really has a lot going on. 91 drones is a huge amount. He's got hatcheries absolutely everywhere. He's Dream playing that kind of older style that's a little bit more fragile, less workers but bigger army.
Yeah.
And not, I mean, he's killed a couple bases. He's kept some pressure on. But you can see he has no bank. He can't actually max out right now.
Okay, just completely coming through and cleaning that up. Now, he did deny the hatchery. That's actually one of the more obscure locations for Zerg to actually get is the top left on this map. Like, it's really far away. I get why Rogue's doing it, is he's just trying to play a game of, like, gobble up the map as much as you can.
Yeah.
But good play by Dream there. Dream does come through and take it out. But Dream right now is pretty resigned to this quadrant of the map. It's going to be hard for Terran to try to expand to the upper left. They may try, but will it succeed?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
No. I mean, right now, Rogue can just do anything he wants. He has such a big economy, like you pointed out. He's got great upgrades. He's got not quite full tech, but close enough. And you see, he's just like running into areas, doing damage, and running out.
Okay.
I like the spines as well, kind of just making it a little bit easier. You have to really commit to kill that base.
Sorry, I'm like running over you here. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's what you got to do. You need to have just enough that like a handful of Marines will never cut it.
Yeah.
They have to have some kind of organized, committed attack over there. And really, this is going to be probably a story where these mutas are what won the game, I think.
Yeah, they've just been doing huge amounts of work for a very long time.
Yeah, there's just too many fires to put out at home for the Terran that the Terran's never going to be able to come across the map and actually do anything. And yeah, I mean, Terran right now is trying to survive. I don't see an endgame plan here for Terran. I feel like right now it's like Terran's making a sandcastle, and then Rogue comes in here and stomps on it, and then he's going to...
Well, he's making the sandcastle too close to the ocean.
Yes.
Rogue is the ocean right now.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just never going to work. He's never going to get...
Absolutely not.
The Zerg can just hammer away here. By the way, again, aggressive acquisition of the upper left base on the mini-map here.
Yeah, the sea levels continue to rise, and
he's Micronesia right now. He's going to be underwater.
Yeah, no, he's having a hard time.
As the Rogue ice caps melt. We got another attack in over here. Wait, is Micronesia the one that's going to be underwater? I might be wrong, actually. I don't know.
Not sure.
Well, again, you know, not enough turrets anywhere. Terran relying on army, but the mutas can always, you know, they can pick and choose their fights, basically. Oh, my God. Get your +3 attack denied punch card out.
He's going to get a free +3 attack denied.
That's right.
By the end of the series.
That's right. If you get a third at +3 attack denied, you get a free soda with your sandwich.
Right, trying to get a cheap pick off right there. So oh my God.
This is when you have enough damage that you just sort of right-click on the buildings. Oh, it looks like he's going to save it,
but sometimes the right buildings click on you.
Yeah. I first read that in a fortune cookie. Yeah, he's going to save it. What?
The ultras are stuck between the spines at the bottom right.
Oh, are they? I didn't see that. Well, what Zerg's doing now is because the funding is so incredibly good for Zerg, you're able to just get enough that you can pound through these expansions. The idea actually at 12 o'clock was to have the ultras just target down the planetary and kill that off, and then Terran starts having to use the backup orbitals and stuff like that to land there, and those are also just much easier to kill because they can't fight.
Yeah.
And when you have mass mutas, it's not like it's harder to kill the orbital when it's flying away.
So, like, I'm not, like, Dream still has a lot of supply, so I guess that's why he's still in the game, but he is super dead.
No, this
is no chance to win this game.
Yeah. No, this is one of these, like, a Terran campaign level where, like, the Zerg is just going to end up having enough.
Yeah.
They're all like, oh, there's too many Zergs everywhere.
Yeah.
Why didn't Minx come and get us? We need to get reinforcements, Minx.
Where's the dropships? Okay, so that was a bit of a thrashing. I liked Rogue's style there. It reminded me of DRG in the group phase.
Yeah.
Quite a bit with the way he was moving around his army and just hitting here, hitting there, hitting here, hitting there. His Mutalisks were awesome. I mean, he did a great job that game. And I think Dream didn't play poorly, just wasn't enough.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that is actually a pretty demoralizing loss. Because you're right, he didn't play poorly. It's just that Rogue was everywhere and never stopping and never getting behind and never slowing down. And it was like, you know, it was like Dream was in quicksand.
Yeah, it's not one of those things, like, I'm sure he can play a better game than that, but it's not one of those games where you're like, damn it, I made this one mistake. No. It's like Rogue played better than he did. So we're going to have to see Dream really notch it up a little bit here coming into game 2.
We're going to Deathra for the next game. Can Dream come back, or is this going to be a day of Zerg domination against Terran? We're about to find out as our map is loaded up. The winner of this goes on to the second spot in the round of 4.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 드림 조중현. 지네어 크리밍스 로그 이병렬.
So again, I think for now, for Dream, I think really Rogue is like the hardest opponent he's had to face yet. And, you know, GSL, for these guys, this is the most important tournament of their careers out here. You want to win this tournament. And I think Rogue is a great challenge for Dream. The problem is that Rogue he's so good at group stages, and he's so good at the planning stages, like round of 8, round of 4 finals.
He's a very complete player in that way.
He really has the whole thing. He's not one of these players where we say there's some kind of weakness or the style is too obvious. He's just a really, really, really scary RTS player.
Yeah.
Like, he really just knows exactly what he's doing.
No, seriously, he's one of the few players that you can make an argument that he was a Bonejoy at one point, where he won like 6 tournaments in a row. You know?
Yeah.
the Super Tournament, IM Shanghai, World Championship, IM Katowice. Like he just ran through everything. Now he's won another IM Katowice. He's won a GSL. He's won everything. Like he is, in fact, the only player that has won one of everything. He's won the World Championship. He's won Katowice. He's won GSL, and he's won just like some other stuff too. You know, a Super Tournament and an IM. So it's like,
and to think people were worried about Zerg's not advancing.
Well, we
remember that. Remember that time we were all worried?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna go the way of the panda and the polar bear.
Well, I tell you, Dark, the guy that we expect to do well this year, is not having his best year right now.
No, he's having actually a pretty bad year considering, you know, what he managed to do last year, which is become the world champion. I mean, it's kind of weird, right?
It is a little bit.
It's funny how some people come out on top, and then it's like, all right, back of the line, man. You are not. You were the best a few months ago. That's fine. You are not right now.
Yeah, it seems to be the case right now, unfortunately for him. But Rogue and DRG both looking really strong out of Korea here. Of course, Europe still has their killer Zergs.
That's right.
Cyril and Rain are still up at the top of everything.
Absolutely. And one day when we go back to the old days, where casters and players fly in metal birds, when the world is pandemic free, we will have live matches like that again.
So Overlord speed this game from Rogue. What he's going to find is going to make him a little bit sad he went Overlord speed, right? Because there's no way to punish, and he's not going to be under attack anytime soon. Maybe this will be like a BC build, so there's still like, it's good to scout that out, but you know.
Again,
yeah, it is a BC build.
Rogue has so many different styles he can bring here. That's the one thing that I think really makes him stand out more than DRG. Is DRG, we kind of see what he's going to do before it happens. He's just really good at doing it.
Yeah.
Like the way he plays, he's the best at in the entire world. Okay. Where Rogue just seems to have such a range.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's hard to prepare for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Where you know he's ready to pull the trigger on a lot of those all-ins.
Got the Hellion staying on the edge of the creep. Pretty conservative behavior here from the Terran. You don't want to overextend early here. And good job. Spots the Overlord.
I think he already sent it in though, right? Well, he sees it there, so no mistaking what that building's for. I don't think he's going for quick Liberator range.
No. So there's the first battle cruiser started here. Now this does appear to be, as StarCraft continues to age and develop here, it seems like something players are getting better and better at just sort of dealing with. At the time, it was borderline hilarious because it was just such a new thing, and Zergs had not really.
When it first came out and they just warped in and killed all the drones,
yeah,
it was like.
It was like at least 15 drones were killed every time, and a certain number of queens, and it's just like, okay, I get it. They've just never. They've never seen this before. This is another new thing you have to learn how to deal with.
And then the few Mimi games of double BC warping in. Those
That's right, yeah.
Just for good measure, let's overdo it a little bit. So it's going to be a mech build here as well from Dream. I think he'll fare better with that, actually. Just looking at the way that he plays, like where his attention goes and how he micros during a lot of battles, I think that Mech kind of fits him a bit better because Mech is going to be a little bit more about wider brush strokes and decision making rather than execution. And we definitely saw his execution. Again, I don't want to say like lacking. These guys are amazing, but you know, not innovation level in execution.
Sure.
So that's, and the thing is, a lot of times at this level against Rogue, yeah, you need the innovation level. You need the Maru level to do that. The TY level.
Yeah, here come those Hellions now. Now this is a pretty good angle to do a lot of damage to the workers here. The splitting, though, very good here by Rogue. Rogue really just having a no ideal angle for these to really attack into. We've got 9 drones, 10 drones now killed so far, and it looks like this number ups it to 11.
I like that.
Okay,
I think that was really good.
All right, BC not able to do anything just yet here.
No, I don't think it's going to do very much.
Seemed like that was a bad rally, actually. It's like, well, I'll just go right to the middle of everything.
Yeah, we've seen actually Dream especially. He likes to send it in and jump it out. I kind of like that. That gels with my brain. I feel like if I was a StarCraft 2 Terran, I would walk the BC over and then beam it out.
No, I actually totally agree with you. I think that I understand why you want to warp it in somewhere because they might not be able to get there in time, but it does seem like you have a higher chance of losing the BC. And I do believe with this build, you're not supposed to ever lose the BC early on.
Oh, absolutely.
If you lose it, it's like, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. When this first came out and a few people did lose it, it was very, very sad.
Corruptors.
And he beams it out. Now, when that jumps home, is that actually the same BC, or did that BC die and there's a new one at home?
Oh, like the Star Trek thing where it's like, because they were like being uploaded as copies of themselves, that means the other version of the person had to die.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You're like, wait, what? I'm the 70th version of me?
Would you do that, Tasteless?
No. Would I die?
I'd
No,
probably do it without thinking about it, and then like the second version of me would hear about that, and then I'd just stay at whatever planet I'm on. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to build a spaceship landing pad here. I am not.
Yeah. Oh god.
Okay, so we have more corruptors coming now.
Yeah, a lot actually. Very, very many. Rogue's on 83 drones. I'm actually really surprised with the amount that he's making. Look at how many corruptors he's making. What?
Yeah,
Why is he making this
This
many?
is a number that's so high, it's meant to completely shut down air and then obliterate the ground. But I don't know if this unit composition
he's gonna fly
will
over and
actually
kill
work.
buildings? Like, is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if this is good, but that's what it looks like.
Dude, it's so many. Oh, you know what? I think actually he's getting enough so that BCs can't jump from them. That's how many he has. He wants to like 2-volley them.
Oh, yeah, so he could just punish the, the animation time. It's
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
Nope.
No, I think that's actually what this is, because 19 corruptors, like, you don't need 19 to keep BCs off you, but you probably need them to kill BCs.
But look at the angle he's coming in at.
So he's gonna go kill armories, I guess.
Cool.
This is where you jump the BCs in the main. Look at that, he's going after both of them.
Oh, okay, he does finish plating level 1. Yeah, repair was never gonna work here.
That was actually
kind of, it's like a bad movie right there.
Yeah, I don't. Like, that stuff scales up so quick. Repair doesn't do anything against that, man.
Unless SCVs are able to start repairing even faster the longer they're over there.
You'd need stimmed SCVs
Stimmed
repairing
SCV
it.
repair, yeah.
Okay, so the BC's going to get some damage done in the meantime.
I'll tell you what, man. Taking out the upgrades, like, that's so easy and straightforward to do.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty
That
brilliant.
was a cool move.
Corruptors come in. Ah! Oh!
Yeah, see? All right, well... he
you
get
kidding me?
Wow. Well, at least he gets a hatchery for that. And now Mass Muta? He's like, I don't know, DRG was doing it.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're going to have 10 mines out in a second here. I don't know about this. This is a very different BC mech versus Zerg game. Very different. It's kind of the beauty of it, right? We're in the round of 8 and 2 different round of 8 matches in the same matchup. Have the same, like, kind of idea, but are played completely differently. Look at this, he's coming in here killing turrets.
I love this.
It's hilarious.
This is so cool. Look, he's gonna get the factory. Lift it up, bro. Then he lifts it up and he's like, I'm a corruptor. And he shoots it down and we're like, oh my God, he's so cool.
Wow. It's the only time anyone ever said that about the corruptor.
Yeah, the corruptor, definitely my favorite unit.
It's so interesting. Well, definitely its puking spell makes it much more interesting, that's for sure.
No, I like it if they went back to the old corruptor.
Yeah? The one that was slower, too?
Yeah.
Look at this. He's just diving on everything here. Oh, my God.
This just works, right? Does it?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, Tasteless.
And then in the final finishing play, he lands the corruptors like they're Vikings and they fight. We've never seen it before.
They just wiggle around on the ground and SCVs kill them.
This might just be too much damage, man.
Ooh. Thor out.
Coming.
Eats some shots with those corruptors.
The corruptors are like, we're just going to wait over here. Let us know if you need us.
We'll watch, guys. We're waiting for our cooldown.
What an odd game this is, but I guess it works. Just one Artosis.
Yeah. All right, a couple Thors coming up. Nice magic boxing right there.
Oh my God.
The Corruptor's just flying over turrets and Thors and stuff, no problem.
They're just looking around.
Yeah, they're checking it out.
This is a pretty painful loss here for Terran. This is just like, you feel the loss as this is happening. You're like, well, this is weird.
It's a bizarre game, but I love it.
I think this is really the first time we've ever casted a game where the Corruptors were made en masse and then sent into the main to...
Yeah. Well, he made them... The thing is, when he made that money, it's like, oh, it's to kill BCs, and then he just flies around the whole map.
Yeah.
Like it's a warp prism or something that kills a bunch of your buildings and then flies out.
Yeah.
And then just mass mutas, where it's like... Corruptor and a muta, I thought that's what you're supposed to go against Phoenixes. You know?
Yeah,
What am I looking at here?
Well, it's funny, because I guess if you're meching after going BCs, you actually don't really even have anti-air to stop the Corruptors. So you just walk in and kill off those the armories, and it's like, yep, I'm probably going to win now.
I guess.
My stuff's going to be better than your stuff. That's my strategy.
It's a good strat.
The better stuff play.
That's what Rogue's always been good at.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess he's starting to kill off some of the Corruptors. It's so funny that he built turrets and then he just flew in and killed the turrets too. That's like, it's just, it looks so weird to see a Corruptor be like, no, don't worry, I got this.
Yeah, it's fine.
It stops, it shoots, you know, it takes a little bit to lock onto that and do that. And
well, they're a little bit beefy, you know. So, you know, if Zerg is going to have a game backfire, it will be because of flying into Widow Mines. Where are the other armories, by the way?
They're in the natural now.
Oh, okay.
Like in front of the nat. So, I actually, there's some redeeming things about where Dream is at right now. He made a lot of mines and a lot of Thors that deal with this air army well.
Yeah.
And he's switched over, like, not blindly, but like smartly into siege tanks and Hellions, right? Because it's like you get a certain amount, and you're like, okay, air doesn't work against me as much anymore, right? So he's now kind of countering the ground units that Rogue has to make from here.
What a weird game. This really makes me think a lot about, you know, just different ways to approach mech.
Yeah.
Because this actually, no disrespect to Rogue, this looks like something that's not even that hard to do, right? If you have the timings of it mapped out. And look, Terran's like not even really getting to push across the map. There's been a couple moments where Hellions come out, but look how much the Zerg actually has here. This is a Terran on 4 bases, but that might change in a little bit here.
Well, don't worry, Tasis. He's going to kill 3 siege tanks for his entire army.
Yeah, there's definitely been some exchanges where it doesn't seem to be cost efficient for the Zerg at all. But
certainly not. And look, he's making 10 more mutas now. Wow. This is such a weird game.
It's just such an unusual way to play.
DRG right now, he was probably watching this, he's closed his eyes. He's like, no, I want to win the next round. I don't want to watch this.
So, where are the upgrades at now? It's, what, 2-1 here for the Terran mech.
Should be 3-2 at least right
I know.
Should be 3-3 probably.
It's funny because there's just not a lot of recourse that Terran has for the Corruptors destroying the armories. You know? If the armory could
That's a
fly,
weird thing that you just said. That was a weird sentence. No one's ever said that sentence.
I'm the first person who's ever constructed that sentence. But it's true. It's like Corruptors can soak up enough damage, they can just stop the upgrades. And it's like, yeah, and then, I mean, you know how many games in StarCraft are won just because someone had better upgrades? Upgrades were neglected, and it's like, yeah, well, there were plenty of mistakes made, but ultimately I had just a better stuff than you.
Yeah.
And that's happening here in a round of 8 in GSL. In a game where, by the way, the Terran the entire time is seeing this happen, it doesn't really know what to do. I don't even really see an easy way to stop it if you're meching like this. Now, again, you don't have to mech as Terran against Zerg, right? I mean, the more common unit comp is Medevac, Marine, Tank, some Widow Mines thrown in there. But just seeing the approach to BCs into mech and seeing Zerg answer this way, I almost feel like Zerg, I'm sure a lot of other players might disagree with me, but it seems like this is so much stronger that Terran players should not BC into mech.
I can't go that far, what you just said, but I see
Have I
what
gone
you
too
mean.
far, Tosis? Have I lost
Yeah,
my mind?
I don't think this will be the counter to it. This has been a very interesting and different
looks
game.
so good, though. Look at this.
It definitely did well.
And Zerg is able to propel themselves into such a lead that there's not, even the attacks themselves don't have to be executed that well. You're kind of just, getting ahead in many different ways.
Yeah, Dream he's trying to hold on, right? There's not that big a bank for Rogue. I do like that he got the Ultralisk Cavern, to be honest. Because he's made so many mutas that there's a funny amount of Thors. And, like, at some point, you could theoretically go, like, Ling Ultra to kill the Thors. Like, I don't think we'll actually end up seeing that this game, but I dig the fact that Rogue made the Ultralisk Cavern.
Now, another thing, hold on. This is such an odd game. The Terran supply is low enough, I don't really see a healthy recovery from here.
Yeah.
The Zerg can kind of just run in and battering ram their units in. And every time the Zerg, in the big, broad scheme of things, is traded much more effectively, can go back, macro up more units, do it again, and each attack should get the Terran further and further to that moment where the Terran has to GG. There's just nothing left. Zerg, by the way, has actually taken all of the upper right side of the map, which is insane to me.
Yeah, he's everywhere. It's 63 supply to a max Zerg right now.
Crazy.
Very cool kind of tempo-based plays here out of Rogue.
Oh my god, another armory is going to bite the dust.
I feel like there's a new level of Zerg mastery that's coming out right now.
Yeah, this is some of the scariest Zerg plays we've ever seen.
Yeah, this is much cooler. It's very different from what we were watching before, where Zerg would just like defend their drone count, continue to take the map, and just get an army that can't be beaten. Right now, we're seeing a lot of games right now from these Korean Zergs where they are kind of like getting a tempo advantage and then trading maybe efficiently, maybe inefficiently, maybe doing a little bit of a tech switch, and it's just some really cool, different, dynamic plays.
It's like they found the stepping stones of tech to really shut Terran down.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no.
Very, very cool game there.
No. No!
Damn.
Don't ever try that.
Well, I would love to see it again, but it's Golden Wall. So this is like always bio here. We've never seen mech on this map against Zerg, right?
I think Rogue's going to take a small break here. I mean, I'd be pretty, I don't say checked out. I'd be pretty worried if I was Dream right now.
Checked out. You're like, I'm just going to go, guys. You see Rogue get up to go to the bathroom, you're like,
Yeah,
you
I guess
unplug
checked
your
out's not
keyboard
good.
and just leave.
You were like, you have to play game 3. This is the show that you're on. He's like, I can do anything I want. He was like, are you going to send me to jail? You going to send me to esports jail? Yeah.
Like you're banned from GSL.
Are you going to make me go to esports court and defend myself? Because that doesn't exist.
Oh my God. Wow.
You going to call the police? Huh? Going to get on the phone with the president? Make me play my games? Going to call my mom and dad?
It's a freak of TV, man. Maybe we will. Who knows?
Who knows, man?
We have a lot of power here.
Yeah.
Is there a chance he can take Golden Wall? I think
Man,
so.
I mean, I
It's a
hope
different
so.
Map, different map.
I want him to. I just don't. I mean, he's getting smashed pretty
I'd like
hard
to have
here.
a third commercial break today.
Yeah, we've only had one commercial break, right?
Yeah, or yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Or a second.
We have our break off after the third game. We might have a show where we only have one commercial break.
This is a quick series right
This
now.
is madness.
And it looks like Rogue should be able to take the next game. I mean, I wish it wasn't Golden Wall because I think that Dream's mech actually there were redeeming things there, and I feel like if he played Rogue again with mech,
what do you think
he
was
could do better.
redeeming about his mech?
Okay,
I'm curious actually.
I think Rogue really caught him off guard with the Corruptors flying in, and then like he had just a little bit too many mutas and stuff on a lot of the engagements, and a lot of things got picked off because of that. Like, I feel like he was playing mech well, but he was caught off guard several times, and it just continued to snowball. Whereas now that he's played against Rogue doing that type of thing, either Rogue would switch it up or he would react much better against that specifically. And if Rogue switched it up, it would go towards a style he's more used to playing against. So, yeah, I feel like his mech has some really redeeming qualities there, and I would love to see it again against Rogue, but on Golden Wall, can't imagine. Like, I mean, I'm ready for a mech game here.
I welcome it. Let's see, though. I agree with you. I don't think mech is viable on a map like this. Anyways, guys, Game 3, Dream versus Rogue. Rogue with a 2-0 lead. Let's go.
한번 시작해볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 드림 조중혁 진에어 크리밍 슬로그 이병렬
I am just wondering what a dream win looks like here. Because Rogue, you know, I think he's got more versatility than DRG. But I just feel like Rogue is one of these, it's like an RPG character where his stats are just higher. Dream's like the secret character you pick up by like,
oh yeah, yeah,
by like farming, farming for goblins in the forest, and you're like, and then he comes out and he's like, I'm Dream, and we're like, oh, it's Dream, the secret character. But he's like not as good as the main character, Rogue.
No.
It's like, all right, well, I'm going to level up Dream a little bit more here.
Although Rogues are generally pretty trash characters in RPGs.
That is true. Very rarely are you like, oh, get the Rogue character.
Yeah.
What is it? You got to get the Warrior character. Mage can be hit or miss.
Well, mages are generally good.
Yeah.
It's just
the
which,
monk is
which
usually
mage?
bad.
Yeah, the monk's always bad.
The monk's
Anything
like always like, oh, he like fights with his. Why would you ever get a game where you can get all these weapons? You're like, I'm gonna fight with my fist. It's like, get me.
You
away
played the original Final Fantasy, right?
Did you? The one on Nintendo?
Yeah,
I did. I beat that actually.
Yeah. The well, I beat that with like every possible party just for fun because that was like my favorite game as a kid. And
yeah.
Yeah. Once you
did you beat it with 4 white mages? That's considered one of the hardest things to do.
I think the 4 black mages I did. Did I? Or maybe it was a white mage and 3 black mages or something. I can't remember, but did a lot of different parties in there. But I gotta tell you, the thief sucked. Black belt sucked. And in black belt, if you have him equipped with nunchucks when you level him up into the master, and you don't ever take him off, then he uses nunchucks for the rest of the game instead of his stupid fists.
Yeah.
But as soon as you unequip him, he will only punch. Just want to let you know in case you replay and you want nunchucks on that guy.
I don't think I can go back and play those games now.
Oh, that game's great. That game holds up.
Can you think you could go back and actually play through it and like?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
If you stream that, you get a lot of.
Think so?
I think so, yeah. I just find those old RPGs hard to go back to now. It's like, I liked them then, but I think it's because I was like so enthralled in the storyline, and I'm like, oh, this is just a turn-based grind.
Yeah, I guess it is. Maybe now I can't go back. And
Could
play.
be fun though. If you stream it, it's more of a social experience. I couldn't like just sit in my house alone and do it. Now, in this game, we have the 2 platforms, the upper and the lower. They're cut off by the golden minerals. We've seen Terrence push through the bottom and kill the Zerg by breaking into the main. I'm scared, though, for Dream because Rogue is such a strategic player. I feel like he's somebody who looks at maps like this and gets more out of the weirdness of the map than he is like, oh, no, how will I handle this weird map?
Yeah, I see.
You know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I see all sorts of cool stuff I can do.
It's not a standard macro, so he doesn't care as much when it's a weird map.
Yeah, he's like, it's weird, that's fine.
Yeah.
Make it weird.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, just stem being made. Over here, okay, Roachhorn coming up. So the layer is pretty quick. Alright, let's see what he does with this.
You know, I make these dumb nicknames for myself, Artos. It's like Time Bones, my time traveling name.
Yeah.
I thought of another good one.
What?
It'd be my dark magician name.
Yeah.
Trichinosis.
Trichinosis.
Yeah, because it's got trick in it, like a magic trick, but it also just means like a disease that you get from uncooked pork. You know what I mean? And it's got gnosis, like hypnosis, so it kind of sounds like a magician's name.
But it has osis, right? Which is like literally me.
Yeah.
So that would be our Archon.
That would be our Archon, our dark magician Archon named Trichinosis.
Yeah.
I like that.
By the way.
Yeah.
Is this is literally Swarmhost Nidus from Rogue.
This is some Trichinosis play right here.
Bio play.
Yeah. Well, let's see how much damage the first few waves do here.
Oh, that's cute. That's very cute.
Yep.
Okay, so he's taking the gold, so Nidus play is going to be pretty good against this in general. The thing is, his actual standing army is going to be a little bit crappy, so I can see Dream maybe holding on and like just countering with Marine Medevac, right?
It's possible. I think this is one of these maps where, one of these situations where a lot of things are very circumstantial. I can't talk today. Also, the gold base is being taken here. That could be punished by the Swarm host now.
Yeah, for sure. Being punished by just about anything back there. All right, so here's the Nidus.
Second Nidus started. Blap. So what do you target first?
Tech Lab. Oh no, he's just going after some Marines.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is like, there seems like there's enough Marines.
Right.
In
And now, if he happened to be going mech, this would be we would be talking about how Rogue's a genius.
Yeah.
But right now,
we'd be doing the interview. Yeah. Oh, careful, buddy. Those are queens.
Yeah, like he's picking off a few units, so technically there's value being gained. I just want to see how he like holds on when Dream counters.
Yeah, this
because it's
might
like
be
he's just gonna have some roaches, not like no upgrades or anything, right? Just roach speed is on the way.
Right. Again, this hasn't been stopped yet. You know, there's 3 locations Terran's trying to take. Terran has more territory than Zerg, which is why it's so hard to defend everything. Zerg really did invest in a very specific, pretty damaging attack here, and it's far from finished. This is 11 SCVs killed our doses. Wow. Oh, look at that. Nidus over there, probably nothing will be popping out of that.
No, probably not. He'll just pop up Nidus everywhere for the
now,
whole game.
He might end up forcing the orbital to lift off here, but there's a lot of SCVs down here that are just going to be killed. There's just not enough to take these roaches.
Yeah, look at the army supply difference right now. 36 to 87. I thought that Dream would be able to do something with his bio here, but he is not able to do a single thing.
Yeah.
By the way, the hatchery for Rogue at his third is not even done, which means he actually canceled the original one. He had it there for show.
Tank lives. Another Nidus here in the main. You know, Niduses don't cost that much.
No, they do not.
So, you know, you can just kind of throw them down there. And the funny thing is the Terran actually has to freak out and kill it. It's like you can't just be... You cannot call a Nidus's bluff. Because then they will just come in there and do so much damage to you.
To be fair, Rogue puts down so many he never uses too.
Yeah, but it's just he's leaving options open for himself, basically.
Yeah, it's very true.
So the orbital's been picked up as Terran's
dude.
beginning to collapse in on itself.
It's getting out of control right now. Look at this, and he's just letting it trade with units each time.
Yeah, I think Terran's going to just over time, just get squished by
dead,
this.
Man.
Rogue. Well, guys, the humans did not win today.
No, they certainly did not. We got 1 human left in the tournament, though.
TY.
Yeah.
That was, I got to say, just a really impressive series from both of our Zerg players here today. Damn, okay, only 1 more tank here left. It's just a matter of time. I really do think this is the point of no return here. Again, it's such strong play. He's just playing the game, playing against the race, using the map in such a way where we talked about all that cool bio play we'd see, but it was much more about can you actually ever survive against this many swarm hosts. This is so much damage.
It's pretty wild, man. And he keeps popping them up. He keeps making some roaches here. I mean, I guess Dream, he has a little bit of an upgrade advantage, and actually the army supply has closed a little bit, which is kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Dream's economy is not super hot right now.
The problem
maybe there's still a way, right? Like if he can at some point eliminate all the Nidus's on his side for a moment and do some sort of counter.
Oh, look at this. This one's actually a committed attack. I thought it was I thought it was a fake for sure.
Eventually you gotta send something through.
Yeah, you know, I don't think so, man. Yeah. I think that this is it's just too much damage.
It certainly feels that way.
The amount of mining that's been interrupted. Another Nidus comes out here.
He's like killing a barracks right now.
Yeah, it's just he'll take whatever he can get. There's just enough roaches here. I guess the Terran can kind of win that fight, but I mean, Zerg is growing. More Niduses are being made. Swarm hosts are ready to reload. It's 30 SCVs to 47 drones, and look, we know every time these locusts come in here, SCVs are going to be killed, and the SCVs are killed by those locusts much, much faster than you can remake them. I don't think the number is going to stay above 40 per Terran ever here if Zerg can keep this up.
You might be right, but he does continue to close the supply gap on Army. Okay, that's the only thing that's kind of going better for Dream. He's not, you know, he's got 56 Army supply now. He does have those 1-1 upgrades against just +1 carapace. Killing another Nidus. He has that gold base mining again.
So, oh my gosh, is Terran actually mining from the gold again? See, this just isn't going to work. I feel like, I understand that he's trying to play catch-up here, but I feel like if you send SCVs over to that gold base, it's so obvious that you're going to lose more SCVs. You're never going to get. It's like your big attempt to actually get ahead is what's putting you behind.
Yeah.
You know, you almost need to have enough that you can just gun down the locusts, and eventually they're not just getting any value out of this. And then you have enough of an army you're defending and you're counterattacking, but instead, he's just trying to take the gold over and over again, and we just see this army parade over there, kill a whole bunch of SCVs. The orbital's lifted again.
He's doing a little bit of a counter harassment here. He did this before and got 5 drones. Here he's going to get a little bit more. Has some tanks set up to stop a bit of the counter too. Look, I mean, this part's pretty good. It's just I know another set of locusts are about to fly into his base, right?
Yeah, well, I think that this, as good as his drop is, this will be stopped. Again, not bad here with the bio.
Yeah, he's starting to trade a little bit better against it.
Another drop inbound here.
Oh, I don't know about that one. Okay. We're making a bit of progress here as Dream.
Yes,
it felt like he was on the edge there for a while. Hey, the Niduses are clean. I don't think that there's any near. Okay, that's someone nearby. Yeah. He just keeps on falling back to further and further away Niduses. Eventually, he's gonna have Niduses behind his actual opening.
Again, the gold base is going to be hit once more.
Gonna down a lot of these locusts. Don't forget that.
Remember, Zerg's not actually losing anything in this process.
No. But you can see that supply differential right now. He's been making a lot of roaches during this time.
Here we go. The SCV count is almost back to where we were a few minutes ago. It's back to 33, almost to 30 now.
Still harassing here for Dream. Trying to keep that Dream alive.
Nice. That's why you're one of the all-time great Certosis.
That's it right there. It is a dream at this point, though.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream right now. It's a fantasy right now, Artosis. I just don't see him winning this. There's just, again, the value that's coming out of here. Terran has just been floating at 100 supply for a long time here, trying to come back, and Zerg is just able to trade in here with no real repercussions for it, you know. I mean, this is a good build for this map. I think Dream's done a decent job trying to fight against it, but all numbers point to the Zerg eventually coming out on top here over time. But hey, there's a drop over here. It looks like the gold base might be denied. Maybe I'm...
Faces, he's only down 100 supply.
Yeah. How dare I? Rein it back in here. Thing is, Zerg doesn't actually have that much economy.
No, and
it's just still better than the Terran.
Yeah, it's the Swarmhost Nidus that's still giving him a hard time. The actual army of Rogue that is so supply heavy is roaches. And we know all about roach scaling already.
Oh my god, the tank's going down here. Yeah, the problem too is that there's no way for Terran to really catch the Swarmhost.
Oh, look at this. This catches him trying to move out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way to ever catch the Swarm Host, really. The Swarm Host is always ducking underground.
What I wouldn't give for one Banshee right now.
One Banshee would be very helpful until the Queens come out along with the Swarm Host. And you go, that's right, they have Queens.
Yeah.
One of the first units in the game.
You see, he just dropped 11 mules tasteless.
Did he?
Yeah, 11. That is a lot of mules to drop all at once.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he's down to 28 SCVs now.
Yeah, big Roach Ravager army kind of walking around here.
Yeah, and again, it's enough Ravagers. You just pop the tanks.
Yep.
Enough Roaches here. Back up Marines.
It's his own units with Biles, but does it matter?
I don't think he's too worried about it. Terran now down to 21 SCVs, 64 supply. I think we are moments away from the end here. It just seems like Rogue has too much. Everything he did this series really showed why he is a master of StarCraft, why he is a former world champion. And I'll tell you what, Dream played really, really well here, but it was not a series that he was ever going to win.
No.
That is self-evident now.
It was pretty one-sided.
We have been able to separate the top 8 from the top 4 pretty clearly today. I'd say more clearly today in this round of 8 than any round of 8 we've had before in a day.
Maybe. Yeah, that was that one was kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Rogue DRG, which means we get a Zerg in the finals. Finally, things are going to feel normal again.
That's right. What a series. Rogue is so good. DRG is so good. We definitely have the 2 best Zergs right now.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
Oh, they're looking great, and that's going to be a very interesting CVZ.
And I don't know who takes it. It's really tough to call.
Yeah, I'm not sure what DRG is going to bring to the table during that. I know what Rogue's going to bring to the table, though.
We're going to go to that interview now, see how Rogue's feeling. He has moved on to the Final 4 of Season 2 of the GSL Code S.
And once again, the Zerg triumphs and its Rogue advancing to the round of 4 of Junior Green Wings. Congratulations. Thank you.
자, 3대0 승리입니다.
A 3-0 perfect score.
정말 손쉬운
And that was quite a one-sided victory. How do you feel?
솔직히 저는 제가 진출할 거로 어느 정도 예상을 해가지고
Well, I did anticipate myself to advance.
그냥 그런 거 같고.
So, you know, I feel quite indifferent.
확실히 준비를 되게 열심히 하니까
But, you know, I can tell that
더 잘 되는 것
I
같다고
prepare really well. And I think I'm going to try harder.
징크스로 고생하시던 게 생각이 안 날
You know,
정도예요.
before you used to suffer from the round of 8 jinx.
예전에는 왜 그렇게 어려웠을까요?
But in the past, why was it so difficult back then?
연습을 레더 위주로 하다 보니까
Well, back then I think I practiced
시간을 좀 낭비한 거
around the ladder, and I think I wasted some time. So this time I actually didn't play ladder. I focused on the ZVT matchup, and I think it worked out really well. And it feels like the round of 8 jinx doesn't exist anymore for you. Whether the opponent goes for a mechanic or a bionic, you adapt to the enemy's army so well. And when you're ahead 2-0, you went for the Swarm Host. So why did you go for the Swarm Host? Well, I had no intention of using Swarm Host. But then I felt like going for the macro over and over again would be really hard. So I wanted to go for an entertaining pick. So in the pre-match interview, you said you're going to beat him 3-2. So was this a bait? Well, in the practice, going up against Terran's mechanic was really hard. So I knew that as long as my army was good against mechanic, I would win. So this confirms Rogue's round of 4 spot. So you'll be going against DRG in the ZVZ match. So that means in the finals, we'll get to see at least one Zerg player.
2012년 저그 우승자와 무려 2019년 저그 우승자의
So this is a battle between the 2012 Zerg champion and the 2019 Zerg champion. What do you think? Well, I'm confident, but I don't think I'm going to have any scrim partners, so that's a worry. So, you know, DRG is being called like the Korean Cell right now.
이병렬 선수도 박수호 선수 조금 참고하시는 점
So Rogue,
있으신가요?
do you take note of DRG's plays?
오늘도 제가
Honestly.
좀 너무 자신 없어서 어떻게 하나 보고
Well, I was
싶었는데,
quite
파이법을
I was
하나
not
보여준
confident
것
coming
같고,
into today's match.
수호 형이 요새 제가 많이 배우고
And looking at
있는
DRG
거라가지고
these days, I
재밌을
learned a
것
lot from him.
네,
And I think it's going to be an entertaining
두
match going up
선수의
against
대결
him.
어떻게 될지 저희도 기대가 되는데요.
We definitely
자,
look
두
forward to
번째
that
GSL
match as well,
4강전
bro.
다시 한번 결승을 노립니다.
So
4강전
you look
각오
forward,
들어볼게요.
you look to regain your
이번엔
trophy.
연습 상태가 되게 좋아가지고 솔직히 자신이 넘치는데
Well, this time my
이번에는
scrim partners were really
연습
good.
상태가 없어가지고
So it will be an easy win.
편하게
But
그냥
going to round of
위주로
4,
해야 될것
I'm
같아요.
quite worried.
그렇군요. 4강전 기대하겠습니다. 다시
Well,
한번
we look forward to your round of
축하드립니다.
4. Once again, congratulations.
연습
Thank you.
도와준
네.
Oh, and
선수들
before I go,
너무 고마워가지고 혜영이랑
thanks to all my scrim
도욱이랑
partners,
성주랑
Pure,
후안이랑
TY, Huan,
신영이 형이랑 너무
Maru, and Innovation. Thank you to all.
고맙습니다.
Thank you guys.
네, 알겠습니다. 다시 한번 진짜
Once again,
축하드립니다.
congratulations. Thank you.
Cool.
네,
All right, some great scrum
2
partners there.
Zergs, 2 Zs.
Yeah. An interesting day. I mean, it was 6-0. It was pretty darn one-sided.
Yeah, it's literally as one-sided as it could possibly be.
We had one pretty close DRG innovation game. Maybe games 1 and 3 of that was all right, but overall, I mean, the better players advanced.
Yeah. TY versus Parting will
had a
be a
good
lot of
series
fun.
before.
We
Yeah.
still have one Terran left here. And of course, no matter what with trap and stats, we have a Protoss advancing. I think TY versus Parting is going to be really fun. Let's not forget TY won the last GSL.
Yeah.
He might do it again here.
It's possible.
There's a chance that we have something more ridiculous than Maru continuously winning. Is TY continuously winning and casting?
I gotta say though, this season so far he hasn't impressed me as much as last season.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling here too, but you never know, man. Sometimes they really hunker down in the later part of the tournament and go into beast mode.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Parting is going to be playing here too. I think he's a tough opponent to predict. I think Parting could also end up beating Trap and Stats, which means he could be in the finals.
I think that this tournament right now looks to me like it goes to the winner of the ZVZ or Parting.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in Stats Trap or TY knocking out those two, especially if it's DRG. Like, I'm trying to imagine someone beating
right now.
DRG in TVZ, and
He just
can't.
It looks like you actually cannot beat that guy. in that
TY,
matchup.
if he's better than Innovation, it's not that much better, right?
Yeah. It's kind of sad it was that one-sided today, but I guess that means we're going to have that much of a better match in the Final Four here. Sometimes we have really good rounds of 8s, and then it's really bad in the Final Four. But the ZVZ there, I don't even know who's supposed to take that. I actually have no idea. I feel like if you had told me ahead of time that this was one of the big matches of the tournament, I would say, I guess, Rogue easily. But honestly, DRG looks more impressive than almost any other player we've ever seen, ever.
He's pretty darn
he
impressive.
Did smash Innovation.
ZVZ plays a lot differently, though. So
yeah, there's a little bit
more finesse, especially if Rogue gets that endgame of Viper Lurker. He's really good at that. He's the strongest Korean at that for sure. So I don't know, like,
but
is
DRG's
going to try to end it
decision-making,
sooner?
there's a lot of counterattacks in ZVZ. There's a lot of split decisions you have to make, and that's really how DRG was hanging on against Innovation in the early games here. He might be able to do that as well.
Yeah, mechanically he looks as good or better than Rogue, so
yeah,
that might help him out in the Roach Wars.
That ZVZ will be on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. KST. We'll be back for the other half of the round of 8 on 1 p.m. KST Saturday, where we're always on.
Yeah.
And, with the PvP that's coming up here, I just don't know what to say. PvP is a tricky matchup right now. There's a lot of volatility in the early game here.
Yeah.
And we have two players that are very good at planning. I think, we've said this from time to time, but I think it's fair to say now there's probably going to be a lot of mind games going on that we won't even be able to follow because these guys know each other so well.
Yeah. They're somewhat similar stylistically. Yeah, not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but I just have such a hard time thinking one of them, they are going to make it to the finals because they're going to show a bunch of really high-level PvPs, the best PvP they have. So if Parting advances, he's already super dangerous PvP with his micro and everything. And then if TY advances, his TVP is on form.
That's all the time we have, guys. We love you. Take care. We will see you on Saturday. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
Unbreakable. I called you up